Oh my goodness. This is my first GDQ Hotfix show, first episode. This is called That's Never Happened Before, which, haha, great GDQ meme. But hello, it's the title of the show. Hope you all are doing great today. I would love to explain what we're doing here today to you. My little thing that I wrote down for you all is that's never happened before. This is a glitch-centered show that features top runners. I'm going to have them on, and we will be breaking down the glitches in some of your favorite games. And then at some point, we'll have some awesome games that you've potentially never heard of either. So we will be bringing people on, and we will be looking into the background and techniques that go into the glitches during a run. So the run will be happening. We'll be slowing it down, getting into all the nitty gritty, learning the background, learning the setup. It's going to be so much fun. And then at the end, on some of these episodes, you'll get the chances to see some awesome glitch exhibition type things. So much like you would see to GDQ, but slowed down more. So you really get much more detail and history than you would typically be able to experience it at a mainline stage GDQ event. So I thought it'd be really fun for us to all learn more about that. I've always been really fascinated in glitches myself. When I first got into Twitch, it was because of speedrunning, and it was all based on games that I had grown up loving, and then all of these glitches that, it blew my mind to see people running all of these games in this amazing way. So one of the first people that I watched and experienced this happen with is Talon2461. So we have him today as our very first guest. How are you today, Talon?
I'm good. Sorry, my webcam froze.
Oh no.
Like as soon as we switched over, but yeah, it should be working now, hopefully.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, Talon's so focused.
Yeah. I know. Hi everyone. Hi Kung Fu.
Hi.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
feel
be doing.
free to. Oh yeah, you ahead.
I'm gonna be doing some Sonic Adventure 2 stuff. For you guys. We're gonna be starting with Hero Story. So some of you might have seen Hero Story or like played through Hero Story before. Maybe as a speed run, maybe as just casually, and there are going to be some really cool glitches through that. And then after that, I'm going to be doing a glitch showcase with one of the coolest glitches that this game has to offer, called the Chowkey glitch, which some of you might have heard of or might have dabbled in a bit because you could do some pretty crazy stuff with it. But I'll be going into detail about how it works and how you could also try it at home. And then thirdly, we'll be doing Sonic Heroes, which is different from Sonic Adventure 2, but also has some crazy game-breaking glitching in it as well.
Really excited. So there's a lot for me to still learn. One of the first games that I ever watched was Sonic Adventure 2 on Talon's channel. So I'm really excited to learn even more, even after watching him for years on this, and thought he'd be a really fun first guest to have on. So we're going to be, again, getting into that. If you all have questions, I will be asking questions throughout the gameplay. And then if you all have questions as well about the glitches and things like that, feel free to post them in chat, and I will try to read some out if we have the opportunity. Again, we're going to be slowing the glitches down before they happen, any of the main ones, so that we can see proper setup and technique and all of that. And before we get started, Talon, I just wanted to get a little bit more info on how, what got you into, first of all, what got you into speedrunning, and then what got you into Sonic on top of that? Because they're pretty close together, right?
Yeah, well, actually, speedrunning as a whole is something I didn't really know about for a very long time. So I got into speedrunning overall from Sonic Adventure 2. I was just playing on my GameCube, trying to go for fast times because it saves all your times in the individual leaderboards.
Right, and I was just getting things for the Chow Garden, and that's basically it.
yeah, which is what a lot of people do, and that's totally fine. But I was wondering what the fastest times were, and YouTube was like a fairly new thing back in those days. So I was searching up some YouTube runs, and then there was this guy called YoshiFan28 who had these crazy fast times. I couldn't get anywhere close to his times. But I was trying to follow his routes and do what he did as best as I could. And then I discovered that there was this whole site that was dedicated called Sonic Center to Sonic speedruns. And for a while, that's all I thought speedrunning was. I thought it was solely just Sonic games and nothing else.
It makes sense.
Yeah, this was back. This was back in 2010, 2011. So it was when speedrunning was like fairly underground, live streaming wasn't really a thing back then. Um, and then I found Speed Demos Archive and discovered that there were more speedruns than just Sonic games. And like I got into watching quite a few people. And Majora's Mask was a big one, and Ocarina of Time, and then Super Mario 64.
Right.
Yeah, and then I was in and out of speedrunning, and then eventually I started streaming races for Sonic Adventure 2, getting back into it. And then people started coming in and watching the streams, and then I learned more about GDQ, so back in Classic Games Done Quick. I used to watch all of that. And then eventually for AGDQ 2015, I decided to try and submit, and I got a run in, and I was really hyped about it because it was like the first. Usually, like speedrunning was all online for me, so it was the first time I was going to go and meet people. So I went to AGDQ 2015. I did a run. I had a great time. Yeah, we did. Yeah, that was the first time me and you met. Yeah, we hung out. Like I met a bunch of friends who I was close with in the speedrunning community. I did speedruns. I watched my friends do speedruns, and then it just became a much more involved thing. Like my stream grew, and GDQ grew, and now it's I don't know. It's hit where it is now, 2020.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I mean, you've always done a great job, and you've had plenty of like world records and things like that in the Sonic category. And then I also know but Sonic games aren't the only things that you run. Like, not only have you had interest in other games, but you've actually speedrun other games. Like, I know Mario is one of your other larger categories of games that you run. Like, what would you say outside of Sonic are like your favorite? Like, is your favorite game, or are your favorite games to run? Like, in what categories?
For me specifically to run?
Yeah, for you specifically.
Oh, that's a tough one because I've dabbled in a lot of different things. Like I like 3D platformers,
right?
But I've also done 2D platformers too. So I did Super Mario World for a while because that's one of my favorite games growing up, and that was really fun to do. 3D games, I've done Sunshine outside of Super Mario, outside of Sonic. Super Mario Sunshine was probably the game I put the most amount of time into, and that was really fun. The game has a lot of cool movement. Yeah, I've done Galaxy 64, but my favorite, I don't know. It's really hard to pick favorites for things that I just like so much because all the speedruns that I've done and I've taken semi seriously, I've liked. And some of them are so different. Like you have 3D Sonic, and then I've done Chrono Trigger, which is like a JRPG speedrun, and that's been really fun to do.
When was the last time you ran Chrono Trigger? It's been a little while, right?
Probably like a year and a half ago. Yeah, that's a really cool run.
I agree. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so I know you just had a range of experience now and done a lot of different things. So I know favorite questions are always hard. I'm horrible at answering any like favorites kind of questions. So I just, figured I would throw that out there and see if you had any that like came to mind. But I know like Sonic Adventure 2 is the one that I think of when I think of your channel because it's what I've known for so long. And so I know it's near and dear to my heart. And I feel like it is for you too because of your experiences.
Yeah.
Like playing it for so long and running it for so long. But that'd be like a perfect way to start.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. This is a game I'll always like. I can see myself being 70, 80 years old and still trying to speedrun this game. And it's gonna I just always love it. Even when I take breaks from it, when I come back to it, I just always fall in love playing it again.
Yes.
It's just a really fun game to do.
Well, I feel like part of that's due to the music because it has one of the best bands in the world, Crush 40.
Yeah, well, Sonic music on the whole is great. Yeah, and Crush 40 is great.
Yes.
Yeah, and the music in this game is really cool.
If you all don't know like a lot of the Crush 40 music, you will by the end of this stream. So funny. I've had people, one of my friends is explaining the background of Crush 40 to me, and I think it's amazing. Anyway, it's great. The music's great. The game is great. If you all have never seen it before, those of you who are watching right now, you're going to have a lot of fun getting to see it. And those who do know this run and enjoy watching it and enjoy watching on Talent Stream, hopefully you'll get to still learn more than you actually know even now. About like how some things work or the history of how things are. So if you're ready to go, Talent, I'm ready to watch and ask questions and all of that.
I'm ready to go. Just let me know. You can give me a countdown or just tell me when I think
start. the last thing we should do before we actually start is just say that you're doing Hero Story. So in Sonic Adventure 2 you have Hero Story and you have Dark Story and then the final story when you finish both. But we're just focusing on Hero Story today because I was watching, and then I'm sure you could explain better, but it's got a heavier number of glitches that are more interesting to watch.
Yeah, especially for those of you who haven't don't know exactly what the show is going to be. So it's going to be like a fairly normal run through, but when we get to the major glitches, we're going to stop and we're going to go through them in detail and we're going to talk about it, and then you'll see how it happens. So hopefully you'll get an understanding of how it works, and if you ever wanted to try them yourselves, it'll be a lot easier to understand.
Right, so and those who do like watching GDQs, a lot of times you only have seen Dark Stories. So
right, yeah, Dark Stories run more often.
Right. So Hero Story is getting more of its time in the limelight.
Yeah.
So, are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well then, let's switch on over and get ready to start the run. We can give a countdown. We're not doing typical timers like you would expect for a standard GDQ run, since we'll be breaking down the glitches so much that we'll basically be pausing at certain points. So this isn't really like making our estimate. You're not going to see any personal bests on this stream by any means. It's all going to be about the glitches. So, we're going to go over estimate by quite a bit for what a typical run would be.
Yeah, that's the plan. We're not even though it's speedrunning, we're not aiming to go super fast. We're aiming to talk about the glitches more than
we're explaining.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep. You tell me when to go.
All right, then I will give a countdown. Alrighty. Talon, feel free to get started in 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh, now I get to sit back and watch. Yeah, this is so fun.
Okay. So, everybody loves this song, City Escape. For those of you who haven't played Sonic Adventure 2, I'm sure a lot of you who are here have played the game before. So there's 3 major playstyles. You have Sonic, the action stages, and then you have Tails, which are the mech stages, and Knuckles, which are the hunting stages. Now, most of the predominantly big glitches that you'll see will be in the Sonic stages, and City Escape has a really big one that will be coming out very soon, so we're going to stop and talk about that in more detail. But yeah, there are some glitches that you'll see for the mech stages as well as the Knuckle stages too. But the big ones happen in the Sonic stages. Alright, so... Yeah,
I was going to say, as you're prepping for this, you want to give a quick breakdown for those who may not have seen this game, just on some of the basic controls and so they can understand how that's going to come into play for...
Right. So spin dash, you hold B button, and then homing attack, you just jump, and then you press the A button, you do another homing attack. So that allows you to do something called spin dash jumping. If you need to clear large distances, you charge a spin dash and then you jump, so that you maintain that speed as you jump. That's going to be very useful. Classic things. And then you can cancel out of a spin dash. If you're holding a spin dash, you press the B button again, and that will cancel you out of the spin dash. And if you do it fast enough, that actually maintains your speed before you start slowing down. Hopefully I'm not talking too fast, and that makes sense. Because when you just normally spin dash like this, you start to decelerate. But if while you cancel the spin dash, you don't decelerate.
Yeah, you just float along the ground.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So you'll be seeing me do that.
So how are we going to use that in this first big
So here we're going to talk about. So this is called the City Escape skip. It's got a very unique name, as you can tell. We're going to be using this ramp. So these are called trick ramps. Now, if you run along a trick ramp, and then if you have enough speed, you'll do a small trick, and this will give me a nice one, so 200 points. Now, the amount of distance that you get from the ramp is dependent on your speed, and that's why they have these speed pads here. If you don't have enough speed, you'll just jump off it. So they have these speed pads here, which are locked to a certain speed value in the game, so that you always get the same amount of distance when you hit the speed pad. So every time I hit the speed pads and I do the trick, I'll land just before these speed pads. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. But what we're going to do is we're going to get more speed than these speed pads give. And in order to do that, we're going to use this speed pad, because this speed pad has a bigger speed value attached to it. So even if I roll in...
why that's the case, by the way?
I think it's just because to make things smoother for this section of the stage, because there's a bigger distance. But even if I roll really slowly into it, you see how fast I go compared to the other speed pads. So we're going to take the speed from this speed pad and hit the ramp. And if I do it properly, what it's going to do is it's going to fling me past where I normally would go and hit these speed pads. And if there's now this is where a bit of luck comes into play because it's very, very position based. If I'm able to hit those speed pads but not land, what will happen is the game will actually change my direction, but I'll still have that ramp flying animation. So you see, like when I'm flying through the air, Sonic kind of just hangs for a bit. Hopefully, if I hit the speed pads in just the right position with just the right amount of speed, I'll be able to change my position while maintaining that animation. And let's see if I can do it, and you'll see what happens when that.
So excited.
Might take me a couple tries because this is like a big reset point of the run.
Right, like you were saying, like it's really weird positioning.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay, so I got it first try. So as you can see, what happened is instead of me landing on the speed pads, it sent me in the different direction. So I'm pausing here so that I could explain this in more detail. Yeah,
because you're gonna see something weird happen right after this.
Yeah, so as you can see, I'm flying through the air right now, and it looks like, if you look at the screen, it looks like I'm about to hit the stairs, but actually my trajectory is slightly to the left, and it's just far enough that it's gonna fling me out of bounds. So if I unpause, I go straight through the floor, and it looks like I'm just gonna fly through the air, but it just so happens that this set of speed values with this positioning sends me to this part of the stage, which some of you might know is near the end of the stage, the final set.
Right. Do you know how much you actually skipped? Like, do you have a percentage amount you could say?
Well, as a speedrun, it skips about 35 seconds. Percentage-wise in the stage, it's probably like 40% of the stage. It's quite significant.
Yeah.
And it's why people reset for it. But yeah,
Google
so that's...
Maps. It does look like Google Maps back there.
Yeah, so that's the first major trick that you'll see if you watch Hero Story runs. Sometimes you get it in a marathon, sometimes you don't, but because it has such a narrow set of speed values in order for it to trigger with the position, it's not something that's like super marathon safe, so you like go for it once and then you just keep going. So it's cool that you get to actually see how it works.
Right? Again, this is why we're doing this show. So between now and the next actual big glitch, I'd like to bring up two things for you to explain based on what you know. One of which is any other kind of like tech that's involved that it isn't like maybe as big in terms of glitches, but things that are interesting that you do with your actual movement that helps you out with the runs. And the second thing is with the City Escape glitch, like, do you know who found it or like any kind of like history behind how it was developed or who found like a strat that was viable enough or like when?
Yeah, so I think the first person to find it was a runner called V-Man, I believe. I might be wrong, but as far as I'm aware, he did it by accident. So it's one of those things where they accidentally triggered it, and he didn't know what caused it. He just had a video, and people were trying to figure out, it's like a typical thing that happens in speedrunning. Someone does something by accident, and then people look at the video and try to dissect exactly how it works. And then with a bunch of experimenting, people managed to find that you needed a higher speed value in order to do it, and you needed to land on the ramp in this specific position, and then people started trying it in runs, and eventually they did it in individual level runs instead of full game runs first. And then people started implementing it into full game runs.
So what's happening right now? For anybody who's never seen this game.
Okay. So these are the hunting. Yeah. So these are the hunting stages. They're very, very different from the Sonic stages. What you have to do is you have to find 3 pieces of the Master Emerald. Now they are in randomly generated locations, but there is a limited number of locations. It's about 100.
Yeah, is it 100 per stage?
About 100 per stage, yeah.
So you just memorize these, correct?
Right, yeah. So these go very, very, very quickly. So it's so it'll be kind of hard to explain while I'm doing it.
That was really quick. That was a good one.
So there's about 100 per stage, and each piece corresponds to a specific hint in the stage. So what runners do is they memorize the corresponding hint. So all they have to do is read the first hint, and they'll know exactly where the piece is and where it can spawn. As long as they memorize all the locations. And there's 5 hunting stages in Hero Story, so it's about 500 pieces. which sounds like a lot, but as you do a lot of runs, you get used to the hint location.
Right, and there are times when we've just done or recommended to other people learning this game to just do like a 100. It's like 100 stage challenge of this, right? Where you to just
Oh, the
yourself
Centurion.
location.
Yeah.
Centurion,
So what runners have done is in order to practice, they developed a thing where they do 20 of each knuckle stage, and they just grind that, and then they time themselves doing it, and it became such a huge practice thing that they developed a leaderboard for it and everything. And it's
awesome.
a really, really good way to practice.
Okay, so now tell us what's happening here.
Okay, yeah. So this is these are the mech stages. So I'm going to be playing as Tails. It's very different from Sonic Adventure 1 Tails, since you're kind of like in a
through the floor.
Yeah, you're in a third-person mech. So I'm not going for any high scores, but I am destroying certain enemies in order to unlock certain areas, in order to progress through the stage. The main thing with Tails or with Eggman, if you're doing Dark Story, is to try to keep your momentum. Because if you turn too sharply, the game will decelerate you. So that's why you'll see me jumping a lot as I turn through corners.
And jumping over gates and jumping things before you're supposed to.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying not to run into walls. I'm trying not to bonk into small objects. I'm trying to take like shallow turns. Hopefully that makes sense.
For sure. Yeah, because he has this like long-winded turning animation if you do a full 180.
Yeah, I could show it, but it's slower, so I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and it's less important for what we're focusing on today.
Mm-hmm.
So this one doesn't. This is a pretty straightforward level. You just jump the gates as fast as you can. You see he's jumping on them, so he doesn't have to destroy all the enemies in that room. He's already at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fairly linear stage overall.
Right.
Nothing major here. Tails does have one big glitch stage towards the end, Eternal Engine, so we'll go through that when that happens. But you'll see some minor things, like you might see me jump through a floor.
Right.
Certain areas have like one-way collision, like you can't go through one wall in one direction, but you can through the other. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Which is I'm trying to think about this in the eyes of a new person to this game.
Right.
We do have a question, just a simple question. What kind of controller are you using for this? Because you're playing this on PC.
Yeah, so I'm playing on the PC Steam version. So I'm using a PS4 controller, and that's what I'm used to. I used to use a GameCube controller back when I used to speedrun it on GameCube, but then I got used to using a PS3 controller, and then I switched to a PS4 controller. The PC version is the fastest version in terms of real time, so if you're trying to go for the fastest real time. There are also a couple things that you can only do on the PC version or the HD version that you can't do on the GameCube and Dreamcast version. But most of the things you'll be able to do on every version of this game. Yeah, so this is the next Sonic stage.
Right.
Fairly linear again. Very easy to accidentally die on and fall in the water. I also get the light dash upgrade. Allows me to light dash. So I can skip this. This isn't really a glitch, but you can skip the rocket by doing a spin dash jump off the ramp right at the bottom and landing directly on the spring. So you don't have to go through that long-winded animation of running around it. So spin dash. Sonic's innate ability to like go fast, like you can take advantage of the way they implemented his like mechanics to use that to just speed up and around things and over things. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's why spin dash jumping is so useful, because it allows you to just skip major things.
Okay.
Barely made
it. Okay. Here's the moment that everybody's been waiting for.
Especially me.
It is the best cutscene in video game history.
I didn't get to sing the first Knuckles rap, so that was a bummer. But can we get some "I found you" fakers in chat, please? Can we get that please in chat? Yeah.
That blue hedgehog again of
all places.
I found you, faker.
There it is.
Faker.
I can say this whole scene from memory. I know a lot of us could.
You're not even good enough to be my.
I can't even tell you how many times I've listened to those words. It's still not
There's no time to play games.
I'll make you eat those words. There's not too much going on in this fight.
Yeah, so this fight looks kind of weird because it looks like I'm just walking into shadow. It's a small, I wouldn't necessarily call it a glitch.
Matt, you're so great.
Yeah, but essentially what it is the B button is mapped to both the somersault and the spin dash button. And the way the game differentiates whether you want a somersault or spin dash is how long you hold the button for. So if you hold it for a little bit of time, the game will be like, oh, you want to spin dash instead of somersault. But there's a little bit of time between pressing the button and the spin dash actually happening. And during that time, you still have your damage hitbox, so you can still do damage to objects. So what I do is right before I run into shadow, I hold the B button, and so it looks like I just walk into shadow. But I store my somersault hitbox, and then I just walk into shadow. So
Very
it takes
cool.
damage.
All right, so this is the next area we're going to be taking a little pause to explain.
Right. Yeah. It's about halfway through, and this is one of the more difficult things, and I'm a little rusty on it, so hopefully it doesn't take me too many tries to get. And it's quite involved as well, so it's very easy for new people not to understand exactly what would be happening. But
by the way, like you're supposed to be like doing these whole loops all the way around, and just like he's able to kind of cancel those.
Yeah, just cancel and skip the loops, which is actually the next trick is called loop skip.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. Right.
Yeah. So this is called the Green Forest Wall Run. Okay, so there's a couple things I need to explain here. Hopefully my timer doesn't run out because I just remembered that Green Forest only has 8 minutes.
You can pause when you need to.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is the way that the game handles loops in Sonic Adventure 2 is that in order to do these like cinematic running on the ceiling or running on the wall things, is the game gives you different properties when you enter loops that allows you to run on walls and ceilings. So like normally I wouldn't be able to, if I tried to run on an incline, it would just throw me off. But if I like inch my way forwards here, you can see that the game like immediately just accelerates me and allows me to run on the ceiling here. And that's what we're going to be using. We're going to try to hit that trigger in order to enable something that we call it loops or loop physics. So what I want to do is I want to hit that trigger at a very specific time when I spin dash off of the loop. What that's going to do is going to change my physics. And it's going to, if I do it correctly, it should throw me towards, if you look like behind the loop, there's like a big tree that I have to run up. Well, not run up.
Yes, at the end of that path, right?
Yeah, I have to try to platform up. But if I do the enable loop speed at just the right time, I can let the game fling me towards the tree. And because I have those loop properties that allows me to run around the loop and stuff, I should be able to stick to the wall on the tree and just run up it. But it's a very specific thing for me to do. So I'm actually going to take a death here in order to reset my camera.
Okay. Will that also refresh your time?
It should refresh my time. Yeah.
Great. There you go.
So in order for the way that I'm going to do this, I need to land on a very specific part of the loop just before the trigger. And then when I spin dash off, I need to homing attack into the trigger.
So what's your button setup as well for that, if you don't mind?
Yeah. So it's going to happen really quickly, which is why I'm trying to explain it before I do it. Otherwise, I might mess up as I'm doing it. So I'm going to charge a spin dash, and then I'm going to jump to the loop. And then once I land on that incline, I'm going to change my camera slightly, charge a spin dash upwards, and then homing it. It sounds like a lot of inputs. Charge my spin dash upwards, and then homing attack left, and then go forwards again. And hopefully that should fling me forwards.
Okay.
But if I do it too slowly, it will fling me into the water. And if I do it too fast, then it won't enable the loop.
So this is the Goldilocks of...
Right. Oh, that might work. Okay, good.
Oh my god!
Nice.
Wow.
Okay.
That was quick. Okay, your first try.
All right, I didn't get the full thing, so if you do it properly, you'll be able to spin dash off the tree itself and land in the next section. But that's still good. That just shows you like the general idea of the loop speed.
He's gonna pass over that loop.
Yeah, and then you just jump over that.
Yeah.
So that's a trick. It's used in a variety of loops, but that's a good one to
You go right through that loop.
Mm.
Game is really buggy.
So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. And if you guys have any follow-up questions about the tricks that I'm doing, feel free to ask.
Yes, I'm here to see your questions in chat and can answer that as well.
Huh. No problem.
Okay. So my game, because I'm on the PC version, I am able to mess with the game files a little, and this is something I meant to change before I started the GDQ run. But one of my friends did a cover of Pumpkin Hill, and I modded it into the game. So just ignore that. It's fine. It's okay. But she's great as well. Good friend.
Look at me, just gonna. Oh. It always starts out with. I'm gonna let it get to me. Don't worry, I'm helping out. I'm masking it. Please. I know that is. She's embarrassed.
She's great.
The thing, but it's around somewhere. Gotta hold my head. I have no fear. Graveyard seems crazy. Graveyard theory. Ghost tried to approach me. He got leery. It's cool, chat. Don't worry. I know all of the words for all of these. It's okay.
Yeah, Pumpkin Hill, nothing major glitch-wise happening. Similar to Wild Canyon. I read a hint, and then I know where the piece is. I go to that location and rinse and repeat. Okay, so next stage is Mission Street. That's where we're going to get the hover upgrade, which would very, very useful for Tails. Again, nothing major in terms of glitches here. I can explain a couple of like physics nuances. Also, the sound effect. The sound effects.
Tech later, right?
Oh, sorry. I actually can't hear you because the sound effects balance in the HD version of this game is really, really not fantastic. So for some reason they decided to make Mission Street super, super loud with the planes and the robots. So to the point where I actually can't hear what Kung Fu was telling me right now.
Oh.
Yeah,
Hi.
yeah. Can you repeat what you were saying?
There's definitely some harder tech later on in the stage. Based on my I don't know, when you tried to teach me once.
On Mission Street? Well, okay, so there's something called hover jumping, which is what I'll explain here. So
Yeah, it's harder than it looks.
Yeah, so it's a small thing, and I can pause to explain it too, so that you guys get an idea. It's not really a glitch. It's more like a physics mechanic. But essentially,
Right.
So normally I can't jump over these boxes because they're like 2 boxes high. But now that I have the hover upgrade, the way that the game handles the momentum is if I hover immediately after I jump, I actually gain a little bit of height. So I can clear these boxes just like this. But you have to prep this, and the sooner you hover after you jump, the more height that you get. So throughout the run, you'll probably be seeing me pausing like this. And so what I'm doing here is I'm actually jumping, and then I hit the pause button, and then when I unpause, I press A immediately. And that limits the time between the jump and the hover, which allows me to get more height, if that makes sense. So that's why the common question that people ask me is, why do you keep pausing the game? And that's the main reason why.
Extra height.
Okay, let me keep going.
Do you have any info on the tree? What is it? The log skip from Green Forest?
The log skip?
What was it called?
Oh, the Green Forest Wall Run?
Ball run.
Yeah. Any extra info?
Yeah, just about like.
Okay, I know a little bit about it. So, wall running on the whole was something that we kind of knew about in terms of gravity manipulation, which is something I'll get into when we get to Pyramid Cave and get the bounce bracelet. But wall running without the bounce bracelet was something that was really tricky to do back in the day, and something that people only thought was possible in a task, like the task to be able to, like the tool-assisted speedrun, to manipulate the gravity. So that specific wall run was, I believe, I don't know if that one was discovered first in the task, but wall runs in Green Forest were discovered in task only, and people tried to replicate some of them. using, or that specific one is using loop speed. But there are other ones that don't use loop speed that TAS is still able to get. I don't know the specific people behind it, so I don't want to throw out names in case I'm wrong. But I know it was a community effort as a whole to try and implement more of the more TAS strats.
Right. Cool. That's cool. I mean, I feel like that happens in a lot of games. You know, you see that constantly happening in Mario 64 and
Right. Yeah.
I mean, because that's like one of the biggest ones out there, so it's one of the ones people would pay the most attention to.
So Aquatic Mine might have glitches in it, might not. So the collision in this game likes to fail a lot. Usually in a runner's favor if you know what you're doing. But
can you explain what that means a little bit more?
Yeah, so when collision fails, some of you might already know, it just basically means that there's a check that happens with a physical object, and if it fails, then it just doesn't count that the object is there, so it allows you to just go straight through it. Sorry, I'm slowing down for it. So I could actually show, let me see. So I could actually show you, this isn't the fastest way to get the piece, but so for example, the way that this sign is attached to the wall, if I glide into the sign in a very specific way, the collision check between Knuckles and the wall fails, and that allows me to just glide through the wall. So, oh, there you go, and I can just glide straight out of bounds. Yeah. So let me make sure I don't accidentally soft lock.
Going out of bounds in games like that is one of my favorite things to watch.
Yeah, so that's something that's really useful in Knuckles levels where the piece locations are always random and change. It's always good to know certain clip outs because sometimes that can be really useful. So I'm actually gonna, I can try and get this piece with a clip out here.
So it's basically the same setup.
Yeah, this is the same setup. Yeah. I can grab
You
this
just have
piece
to know where to like
and
re-enter the stage.
Right, exactly, yeah. It's very easy to accidentally get lost when you go out of it. And this game's camera isn't the best, which those of you who played the game before might know. It gets stuck on anything that's physical. So like if you try to glide out of bounds, the camera gets stuck on the wall for a very significant amount of time. And it could be very tricky navigating out of bounds areas in this game.
The out of bounds though for that level specifically are helpful because you have like the water section.
Right, yeah. So sometimes you might, like the game will force you to change the water level, but if you clip out, sometimes you could avoid doing that.
So there's a really amazing clip of Talon's stream from a while back of this stage where the game decided to not work. So I wouldn't call it.
Yeah, the collision, so like how I was talking about collision checks failing. Basically, the collision check between myself and the floor failed randomly when I was driving through the stage.
You went over a jump, right?
Yeah, so I went over a big jump and I just fell straight through the floor and I screamed because I wasn't expecting it.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Very, very entertaining. Okay, so why are you backwards and going side to side?
Yes, that's what I was gonna explain. Perfect. So in this game, so in the driving stages, if you drift from side to side, so you constantly are like doing this little slalom thing, the game removes the normal speed cap you have. So like usually when you boost, you increase your speed and then it decelerates. But if you slalom from side to side, that for some reason that particular speed cap is just gone. So you can keep your speed from boost and from downhill sections. So that's the reason why we keep sliding back and forth. And it also allows you to turn the car around and drive backwards. And it's actually not slow, like your max speed isn't slower backwards. The only reason that this is slightly slower is because it takes a little bit of time to actually turn the car around. But otherwise, yeah, it's basically the same. And the controls don't change at all. The only thing that really changes is you get to stare into Tails' eyes as he doesn't blink for 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's really kind of unsettling after a while. Showing off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the wheels
like
are the wheels are totally spinning. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Definitely. This game is so good. Yeah, it's just like a perfect example of a game that's made. It's just an older game, and it's just not made perfectly, but it makes it perfect for runs because you have so many little things you can do, like going through walls, flipping through entire maps. You know, jumping up through the floor because it's faster, like all of these things that are really fun. I found the president!
Okay, so the next tail stage has a couple minor things, but nothing super major. I might pause just to explain.
Go for it. This is the time to do it.
Yeah, just some minor things. But the stage after that is Pyramid Cave, and that's going to have a lot of things to explain.
Yeah, that one's really fun.
But you might have heard me mention before, there are certain walls that are just one-way walls, so it has collision in one direction, but doesn't have collision in the other. So usually, if you break out of bounds and you try to go back into a stage, there's no collision on the other side of the wall, so you can just go straight through it. And what basically, if the developers thought that you couldn't reach certain walls, it made it so that you can just go straight through them because there's no collision check. So I'm gonna try to do this one.
Also, he's not supposed to be on the platform that he's on. He's supposed to
so
scoot that down and be on a lower version.
Right, so I did a hover jump to get up to here, and now I'm trying to do a hover jump to get onto this pole. Being kind of finicky. Oh.
Okay. I really want to see it too.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
Right, that enemy is going to shoot me, so I'm going to pause the game. Right, so I got up onto this pole, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glide. If I do a high enough hover jump, I'm going to glide over to the left and break out of bounds. And hopefully, if I don't hit any of the collision checks, I should be able to go straight to a later part of the stage. However, the collision is slightly weird, and I can accidentally hit a wall. And if you hop, for some reason in this game, if you're hovering and you hit a wall, the game just drags you straight downwards, like it's like you're not even hovering.
Right.
And there's no way to get out of that. You just kind of have to take it. So I'm gonna try. Oh, I messed it up. Okay.
Oh, it's all good.
All right. I'm gonna hover this way. Over here.
These don't actually exist. The walls don't exist.
Oh, okay. I accidentally hit one part that had collision. That's okay. I'll do a smaller one. That one is called pole jump. I'm a bit inconsistent with it. I haven't practiced that particular one too much.
You can try it again.
I could show you a smaller one.
We have all night, my man.
Yeah. But I want to get into the more good stuff.
That's fair.
The better stuff.
The more good stuff.
Yeah.
You heard it here.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the next stage because that's where they get the bounce bracelet, and that's when things get like crazy.
Yes. Also, with the little like pulley pulling you up, it seems like that gives you some extra height as well.
These pulleys?
It looked like it did when you like jumped off in a way that like
right. If you hover immediately after, if you hover immediately after you jump off a pulley, you can gain a bit of extra height and momentum. Just because of the way that the hover slows down your momentum in the physics engine.
You see, he's doing a lot of pause cover jumps.
Yeah, hidden base is one where you do quite a lot of them. So like this section, you can jump above the doors.
Why shoot them down?
Break anything here?
Yeah. You know, trying to preserve the landscape.
Here's another example of me jumping high enough to go through an area without collision. Do it properly. So jump over to the right. I just glide straight through here, and then this is a one-way wall, so I can go back into the stage. A small little time save.
I'm just thinking about things that are coming up. And checking chat. Again, if you have any questions you'd like to ask about some of his process as well, or more insight into some of these glitches that maybe I haven't caught or he hasn't mentioned himself, feel free to do so, and I will be keeping my eyes on the chat.
Very good.
Do you know the current world record? Makes this 21:48.
I think in-game time is 21:48. My PB is 23. Something. It's been a while.
21:40.
Yeah, by a guy called Dage, who's insane at this game. He's very, very good. Real time. So the in-game time is basically you add up all the stage times. Real time, I think that's like a 32 or 33. I can't remember exactly. So 33 minutes. Okay.
I got you.
So a lot of stuff to explain here. as soon as I start getting the bounce bracelet. So we're actually going to pause when I get to the bounce bracelet.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, because I do need to explain the bouncing mechanic. So normally when you do a jump, I'm going to destroy these enemies so they don't annoy me. Oh god.
Like that.
Okay, yeah. So no, I can't make this height with just a normal jump, but if I use the bounce bracelet, I can get a bit higher. Usually I have to do a couple bounces in order to get extra height. So the higher you bounce from, the slightly higher.
But the timing doesn't matter between bounces.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's the height itself because of the way the game carries momentum. But the thing I wanted to mention is when you so if you have forwards momentum, so horizontal momentum, and then you bounce and you hit a wall, all that forwards momentum gets translated into vertical momentum. So that's just a fancy way of saying if you're going forwards and you bounce into a wall, you go higher. So like if I bounce normally, I don't even get to the wall. But if I have a little bit of speed, so if I'm walking into the wall and I bounce, you see I go slightly higher. And the more speed you have going into the wall, the higher you bounce. So like if I get like a good run up here, and then I bounce into the wall, I go much higher.
Wow.
And the way to take advantage of this is to use spin dashes. So if you spin dash into a wall and just before you hit the wall, you do a bounce, because you have a lot of speed, you can go really, really high like that. And that's called super bounce. And it's a trick that's used constantly throughout runs.
Can you
explain
your quick button setup for that? Like actually.
Right. Yeah. So you charge a spin dash, and then when you get to just before the wall, so like here, I'm probably gonna miss it because I paused. I do a jump, so a quick A button press, and then a B button press. So really quickly, it's charge B and then A B really quickly just before you hit the wall. Yeah, I probably missed it there.
Charge
So
B
B,
and then
A B, really, really quickly. So that allows me to do a lot of cool things. So for example, this first key door, normally I'd have to throw the key into here and then wait for the door to open. It has a really long animation. But if I do a super bounce high enough, I could actually get to an area of the wall that doesn't have collision on this side. Because like normally this wall has collision, you can't go through it. But if I bounce high enough, okay, that was not high enough, let's try again. Oh, no. Okay, it's fine. I'm gonna show it off anyway. I didn't mean to do that. If you bounce high enough and then you jump, you could just go straight through the wall. Yeah. I didn't actually mean to throw the key into the slot, but that's fine.
It's all good. Okay, we have time.
Okay. Right after that, coming up is another glitch. So this is called the second key door skill. So normally in order to open this key door, you have to go across that section of the stage, grab the key, and then run all the way back here and place it down.
Right.
But even though it doesn't look like it, there's a small gap in collision between the door and the wall itself.
I can actually see, I think I see like the pixel line moving where I
Yeah.
believe that's...
Yeah, it's about there. So it's the line of the door, and you can't just walk through it, but you can squeeze through it if you're in just the right position, and you have just the right amount of speed. So I'm gonna stand right here, and this is a trick that like if people are playing through the game for the first time, like friends, I try to get them to do because it's something that like everybody can do once they have the right position.
Yeah, there's a really good visual marker in that corner.
Yeah, so I'm standing right on this T. This little these little lines here, and then I'm going to charge a spin dash, and then I'm just going to jump. Okay, that time I missed it, and then I can go straight through the door.
And the camera has to catch up.
Yeah, the camera takes a while to catch up. That's a common thing in X2. So that's called the keyboard skill.
Then you just hit a timer because you have to make it to the bottom of this before the timer's
Right,
out.
yeah, before the timer's out. Yeah, you just hold the spin dash and you go straight down there.
And then jump at the end, right?
Mm-hmm. So here is something called gravity manipulation. So I mentioned it a little bit before.
No, that was a peacock.
Oh yeah, you know the trick, not the animal.
No. Okay, say the name of the trick one more time.
Yeah, so it's like a general physics thing. It's called gravity manipulation. Basically, when you go on inclines in this game, what the game does is it actually changes your gravity. So like right now it's going straight downwards, but if I go on this incline, it actually changes my gravity to be go off slightly incline, so like downward instead, while I'm on this slope. And if you do if you maintain a high enough speed, when you have that gravity, it actually keeps that gravity for a small amount of time. You might be able to see it if I do it like a small spin dash. You'll see that the game kind of changes my gravity in midair, while I have a high enough speed, because the game takes a little bit of time to actually correct it. Yeah, so in that little bit of time, if you do a bounce attack, it will bounce with that skewed gravity vector, and you can use that to clear distances that you normally wouldn't be able to. So this is what we call snake skip, because you use these snakes. So I'm gonna go on.
So let's phrase it in a shorter way, really quick, like, and explain like I'm 5. So you're going on the snake to change the gravity. Like, how? So finish that sentence for me.
Yeah. So I'm going on the snake to change the gravity, so my gravity will be skewed. And then you see that loop that's behind me. I'm gonna try to make it there. So I'm gonna go on the snake, change the gravity. I'm gonna charge a spin dash that's holding the B button. And then I'm gonna do the spin dash off the incline, and before the gravity changes, I'm gonna press the B button to do a bounce, and hopefully if I do it fast enough, it will bounce me with that skewed gravity. So instead of it bouncing straight down, it will go like down and across, if that makes sense.
Right. So the game thinks that that gravity's in a different direction. So when you use a move that will usually throw you down, it'll throw you forward.
Right. Yes.
Boom.
So hopefully you get to see this. This is something that it's very easy to miss because it's quite a bit of distance to clear. So I'm gonna go on the snake, charge a spin dash, do a bounce, and then I'm gonna homing attack. And hopefully with that skewed gravity, it should take me to the loop. If I miss it, there's a checkpoint right behind me. So I can try it again. There we go.
You just kind of run up the wall really fast. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. As long as you maintain a high enough speed, the game won't correct your gravity. And if that also depends on like the direction you're traveling. So that's gravity manipulation is something that we'll use again in the later Sonic stages, especially Final Rush, but also in Crazy. I think we do in Crazy Gadget a little bit too.
We've had some excitement in the chat for Crazy Gadget, by the way.
Yeah, Crazy Gadget.
Can you explain what you just did there, by the way?
So that was a super bounce, but it was on these really small walls. So
you also kind of went over to the side. To go up around the loop earlier.
Yeah, so that was a super bounce. I think that's what you're talking about. So I super bounce up, and then I go on this part, and then I was gonna do gravity manipulation, but I'll just run around. It's fine.
We had a question in chat.
Yes.
What glitches would be good to start off with playing this category? So I'm guessing like what's a good like first glitch to learn for this?
I'd say super bouncing in general is something that it's good to get familiar with. Some of the harder gravity manipulations can be tricky. City Escape Skip is something that anybody can do, but I wouldn't suggest implementing it into runs straight away.
Because it's so inconsistent.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Oh my god, what am I doing?
Okay, now I can catch up with chat. Hey. See if I missed any questions. Is 180 the only category that allows ESG? Also, can you tell chat what ESG is?
ESG is emblem skip glitch, so there's a way to disable the emblem cutscenes. You can do it in any of the other categories, but all the other categories go by in-game time, so it doesn't matter, since the in-game time doesn't count the emblem cutscenes anyway.
There you go. All the answers to that later. Good to know here. Chat laughing at my dumb peacock joke. I am 5. Yeah. I'm not actually 5. I shouldn't say that on Twitch. I act like I'm 5. There you go. Okay, saw that. Yeah, we talked about super jumping. A question. Why are you so good at speedrunning?
I honestly, there might have been a time a long time ago where I might have been considered very good at this game, but there are so many people, even people in chat, right now
Yeah,
who are
this is
better than me at this game for sure.
Okay,
they've,
Lou's
like-
being humble. Well, I
no,
mean,
no, no, no.
sure.
I'm being serious. It's actually really cool as an old speedrunner to see people like actually see people pick up the game and then see their improvement and then actually get better than you. It's really really cool to see.
What the?
Like to
ghost?
like see the community grow and see people get really good at the games that you ran for so long.
Yeah, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. I mean, again, like just seeing a community that you enjoy, like, or at least around a game that you enjoy, developing and learning and finding new things. It's really cool. This is the best boss. Not at all.
So, again, this isn't particularly a glitch, but you are faster than King Boom Boo after you hit him one time. So, like, after you hit him once, he starts off really slow. But then after you hit him once, you'll start running faster. But you're slightly faster than him, where if you run on the inside, you can actually catch up to him and hit him again. And you could just about chain 4 hits before the
light
hourglass
closes.
runs out. So you can
Yeah.
do something called the one cycle.
Ah. Any general tips for people thinking of trying speedrunning after watching GDQ for years?
Yeah, so when it comes to speedrunning, the main thing is to just pick a game that you love. It doesn't have to be a popular speed game. It doesn't have to be a game that has any kind of speedrun. But you just pick a game that you love, and then you just try to go fast in it. See if there's a community for it. Nowadays, there are communities for so many different games that people
Right.
might just be interested in.
Yeah. If you want a good
so-
example of how easy it is to be able to pick up a game, there's another really great GDQ Hotfix show that I've actually been a guest on myself. It's called The First Step.
First Step, yeah. First Step is a
So
really
that's
good example.
every Thursday, Jay Hobbs and Keyzeron go head to head and try to race or occasionally co-op a game that they have never tried to speedrun. And they give themselves like one day, I think only just like a day of practice, or like maybe like within the week of racing this game.
Nice try,
Just try to play it fast and then see if they can do it within 4 hours. So, you know,
Yeah.
it can be as easy as that.
Exactly. So all you have to do is just play through a game. It is like a speedrun can be whatever. Sorry, I'm talking over myself. There's a speedrun. Speedrunning can be whatever you want it to. And that's the thing that I love about speedrunning. You don't have to take it super seriously. You don't have to be the best in your game. You just have to have fun playing the game kind of fast. And then that's speedrunning. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So whether it's like for me, speedrunning is all about personal improvement. Yeah, I do love doing races and trying to go go for world records every now and then, but it's more about the self improvement aspect for me. Trying to beat my own personal best. Yes, I did super bounce on a golem there in order to get up to his weak spot. I'm sorry I didn't explain that while I was doing it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's on those small. So I charge a spin dash and super bounce on those tiny, tiny little walls. Okay.
Yeah,
so
give him that extra.
yeah, Eternal Engine has a big skip coming up. So there is a faster version of this skip. But for glitch explanations, I actually like this one more. So I'm gonna do this one. But the other one works the same way as this one in terms of after you flip out of bounds, you do the same stuff.
I'll ask a real quick question. What do you think is the best controller for running the game? Do you have a preference?
I prefer the PS4 controller, but a lot of people are used to playing this game on a GameCube controller. If you're on the PC version, you can use any controller you want. There are lots of drivers and adapters and programs that allow you to just use whatever controller you want. Back when I started, I could only use the PS3 controller. I didn't have a GameCube adapter, so that's what I got used to. But yeah, it's all about personal preference. So there's some runners that use GameCube controllers, some that use PS3, PS4, or Xbox 360. Yeah. Okay. So
there you go.
all right, I'm gonna hit this checkpoint just in case. But here's the Eternal Engines. So you might notice this little object here. If I like walk into this object, you'll see that the game kind of acts funky with the collision here. And for a while, if you somebody I forget who exactly discovered, but somebody discovered that if you just run into the wall or like fall into the wall long enough and hold a specific direction, you'll eventually clip out of bounds. But we didn't know a way to make it consistent for the longest amount of time. So when we got to this part in the runs, we would just run at the wall and just hold forward and hope that we clip through the wall. And it was really annoying for a while. And then somebody discovered that this door actually has a hitbox, even though it's going into the wall, it actually has a hitbox that extends just past the wall, like this front wall. So as the door is opening outwards, its hitbox actually pushes into this object very slightly. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hover, and then I'm going to hover slightly to the right to trigger the door, and then I'm going to fall into the slot. So like if I just normally jump here, nothing is going to happen. No, most of the time. Sometimes you might clip out, but most of the time nothing will happen. But if I hover and I use the door in the correct way, I can get the door to push me out of bounds. And then after I'm out of bounds, because the stage, you're constantly descending as you go through the stage, you can actually glide. As long as you glide in the correct way and avoid the kill planes, you can go all the way to the end. But I do have to make sure that I do it properly. It's very easy to mess up. So let me give it a try. So I'm gonna hover, I'm gonna go towards the door, I'm gonna trigger the door, and then I'm gonna fall into the corner, and hopefully the door will push me out of bounds. And then I just need to avoid some kill planes, and then I can glide towards the end.
Awesome.
Let's try.
Okay, here we go.
That time I missed. There we go.
How long did you fall before you started to hold a hover?
Say that again?
How long did you let Tails just fall free until you started the hover?
A tiny amount. So there is a kill plane in that room. If I hover immediately and held back, I'd hit it. So I let him fall just a tiny amount so that I go under that kill plane.
Okay.
And now I want to hover here. Sometimes here I hover to the music, but it's kind of hard to hover to the music and talk at the same time. So, yeah. But yeah, so you can see the stage a little in the background, using that as like a visual cue. And once I get to this tunnel, this is the ending tunnel, I just want to fall right here. And you're not, if I do this correctly, you won't even see the goal ring. But the goal ring is on the other side of that wall.
I did it!
You just fall
There
there.
you go.
And you hit
Fall
the
right
goal
through
ring.
it.
Yeah, so there is a trick using two boxes earlier into the stage that also allows you to clip out. Basically, if you run at the boxes and destroy them in just the right way, the box above it pushes you out of bounds, and then you glide in a very similar way towards the end. And that's the faster version of that trick.
There you go. A few people have been trying to ask what your favorite Big the Cat level is.
Oh god, I did a Sonic Adventure 1 All Emblems run the other day, and Emerald Coast was very annoying, so definitely not Emerald Coast. And definitely not Twinkle Park. It'd probably have to be Hot Shelter. Hot Shelter.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh.
Yeah, there may be. I guess chat's explaining it pretty well, but some people don't understand what a death
Oh
plane
yeah, I apologize. So a kill plane or a death plane is it's basically like a 2D sheet that if you go through it or you touch it in any way, the game triggers a death sequence.
There you go.
Yeah, so like usually it's like a blanket sheet that's underneath the stage. So like if you go in bottomless pit, the game will eventually cause you to hit a death plane.
Also, I know it's not really that important for like glitches or anything, but you can tell that this has like this stage has like altered gravity.
Right, yeah, slightly, so you can go slightly higher, you can jump slightly higher. It doesn't really make a difference, because the stage is so open, even though you can clip in certain areas.
You're hitting like the dig button to make sure that you fall faster.
Yeah, so you drill claw to fall a bit faster. That was really bad RNG, and I also messed up the execution, but that's fine. Let's talk about it.
I don't know. What?
Yeah. So basically, certain pieces can have the same hint, and it can confuse me slightly. So there's between the rotating beacons, there's a piece 1 and a piece 2, and they're in 2 different locations. So I read between the rotating beacons, and I went to the wrong one. But I realized I went to the other one.
Treasure hunter, did you find my emerald?
It's rude.
Alright, so this fight is really, usually after 20 seconds the floor opens up and then you have to fight Rouge in the air. But if you chain drill claws while you're on the ground, you can actually get all 4 hits on Rouge before that. So we get the first one, and then we just I'm constantly just pressing A and B here, constantly drill clawing.
I never
So, yeah, it's like what you would typically do to just dig into the ground. Ta-da. He has the weirdest like ear movement physics.
Yeah.
Really strange. All right.
So Crazy Gadget is one that has my favorite skin. So even though, and some people in chat who run this game might frown at me because I'm gonna do the slower version of it, but I think that the slower version looks cooler, and that the faster version works in the same way. It's just a bit harder to do, and because I want to go into the history of the older version as well.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the older version. So here in this stage we have these gravity switches. So these allow you to change the gravity intentionally. So like if I hit these, this is gonna go left, this is gonna go down, and this is gonna go to the right. So normally, if I was doing the stage normally, I was gonna hit the switch and then I'll go downwards into the next room. But what I'm gonna do here instead is I'm gonna hit the switch that goes left. And then we're gonna go to this section. So normally I'd have to go take that switch, go right, and then go along the rail. You can see the rail at the bottom, which leads to that down room.
Oh yeah, the like tiny line at the bottom.
You're right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And normally you're supposed to have downwards gravity. But this ledge, you can actually do the spin dash jumps that I was talking about. You can do a spin dash jump off this ledge. And it's kind of tricky because if you don't press A fast enough, you end up just hitting a death plane straight away. And you have to make sure you get enough distance because you can just about barely make it. So I need to get right on the edge of it. So I'll just spin dash jump. There we go. Okay, so now I'm in this part of the stage. I'm going to take a moment and pause here. I'm in this part of the stage, and you can kind of tell that something weird is happening. I'm not supposed to have sideways gravity, and the game, oh god, the game doesn't think I'm supposed to have sideways gravity here either. And I get off the wall, please? Don't worry. I'm just going to go this way so that enemy doesn't bother me. So the game hasn't programmed these walls to like I'm supposed to be able to land on them, so I kind of just float here. But we're gonna just proceed as if nothing's happening and go through.
Fine.
Go into here. Again, I'm not supposed to be on these walls, but so you can see like there's a little green boundary with squiggles on it. I can actually land on that, and I'm gonna need.
That's a death.
No. So this isn't a death plane. The green acid.
That's what I mean. Sorry.
Yeah, that will cause you to take damage, but it won't kill you immediately.
Right. Sorry.
But if you notice, there's a little boundary between. I'm pointing at my screen so you can see it. There's a little boundary between the wall and the acid itself, and you can land on that. It's a bit tricky because the game doesn't really want you to do it when you're sideways. But I need to do that in order to charge a spin dash and then hit this enemy, so that I could proceed into the next room. Because right now the door is locked. So I'm gonna fall here, charge a spin dash, hit this enemy, and then go into the next one, like that. Okay. So again, I'm proceeding through the stage. I'm not supposed to have sideways gravity here, as you can tell from the checkpoint being on the ground and like everything else. We're just proceeding normally. Everything's fine.
Keep falling.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna fall into this room. So this is where things are gonna get kind of crazy. So if the camera would cooperate, I don't think it's going to. But please, because I want to show you what's inside that room. So inside, you kind of can't see. So there's a checkpoint, and then there's like a little pipe. I really wish that would. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's a better camera. So there's like a little pipe you're supposed to go in, and then that will take you to a different part of the stage. But there's a little gap in collision between the pipe and the ground. And if you have a high enough speed, you can clip out of it if your gravity is facing this way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump and I'm gonna bounce. I'm gonna bounce in between the pipe and the floor, and that will hopefully clip me out of bounds. And because of the stage layout, I could actually go all the way to the final puzzle room and hit the goal room.
With the same gravity, you're just flying.
With the same gravity, so you'll see. Yeah, you'll
also,
see this.
Interesting
happening.
that wall has. There you go. Interesting that wall actually like lets you land on it. By the way. There you go.
Yes!
There you go.
Just go right through it.
Yeah. Yep.
There you
so
go.
I actually do hit a death plane as I'm going into the goal ring, but the goal ring overrides that death plane. Like basically the successes overrides the death.
You already did it. You already got it. So
Yeah.
okay, so that's called Crazy Gadget Skip, CGS.
Yeah.
But then there's
so there's a
CGSS.
slight there's a faster version of that it's essentially very similar how it works. You spin dash with sideways gravity outside of an earlier room, and you can fall and hit the gold ring, and it saves about 15 seconds. And that's called so the first one is called Crazy Gadget Skip, and then the faster version is called Crazy Gadget Skip Skip because you skip the skip. Yeah.
So good. So funny.
Yeah, so we abbreviate it as CGSS. So that's usually what people say.
Yeah.
Lose to
You did it. Good job. The most
oh, yeah.
fights.
Yeah, the boss fight is fairly straightforward. Nothing huge glitch-wise there.
Is there anything within this game that you've discovered yourself, or have
a couple minor
added to?
a couple minor things in terms of movement and like little like tiny shortcuts, but nothing huge as far as I can think of. The game has such a huge community that I kind of just follow and do what other people discover.
Explain for newbies watching this game. This level is probably very fast and confusing and complicated.
Right. Yeah. So that's why I'm actually gonna. So there is a skip that allows me to go straight to the goal ring, but for a glitch showcase kind of run, I think it's kind of boring compared to doing the entire stage. And plus, you also miss one of my favorite tricks, which is called the.
Could we do both?
We could do both. I just have to.
We'd have to like,
restart the stage. I'd have to restart the stage.
Why don't we do it after the run in like the?
Yeah, we could do it. We could do it after the run.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'd love to see that as well.
Yeah, because this is my favorite. Like the thing coming up is my favorite. Or one of my favorite tricks. It's called the Final Rush War Run. You can kind of guess what's going to happen. So very similar to in Pyramid Cave. We stop here. This rail will let me go completely vertical, and so my gravity gets shifted so it's like horizontal, which basically means that my gravity is pointing towards the wall while I'm on this rail. So if I jump off the rail with a high enough speed and I bounce fast enough, the game will actually bounce me towards the wall, which you can kind of see there. And if I do it in just the right way and I homing attack just before I land on the wall, I can land on the wall and start running on it. So I'm going to try to do that now. Oh, okay. So I landed on it for a bit, but the game wanted to correct my gravity. Let me try it again, just to show you what it looks like. Oh, there we go. So I can actually just run on this wall, and as long as I have a high enough speed, the game won't be able to correct my gravity. As soon as I start slowing down, the game will be like, "Oh, your gravity is supposed to be down."
Oh, whoops! Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to use that, maintain the high speed, and then there's a couple walls that I'm going to need to switch to while maintaining the gravity. And for that, I'm going to do a quick jump bounce. So basically, I'm going to jump and then bounce, and then homing attack. So it's, in terms of inputs, it's A, B, and then B, A. But it's just, essentially, it's going to look like I'm just jumping between the walls.
Right.
Yeah, and while maintaining the gravity. Let me try to do it. Let's try to do it. Yeah. Second wall. Up this way.
Just
there we go.
Your speed. There you go.
Yeah, as long as you keep a high enough speed, you can't fall off the wall. The hardest part is the actual wall switches themselves, because it's very easy to lose your gravity while you're jumping in midair.
Also, you don't usually do that.
Yeah, the movement in this stage is really, really cool. You're just jumping, bouncing, trying to maintain a high enough speed on the rail. Your grinding speed in the game is super, super fast, so you want to stick to the rails as much as possible.
Well, if you're not doing the main skip.
Right, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Spin dash, trick here.
Somebody did bring up the fact that you've done a ton of research in addition to chow breeding for 180. It's for 180.
Oh
emblems,
yeah, that's true. Yeah. So when people ask me, I thought you were talking about Hero Story itself. So I've done stuff in. in 180 emblems, which is get every emblem in the game.
Right.
Yeah, I've done a lot of routing and stuff like that. But when it comes to hero story, I haven't found anything.
Nothing major, just minor stuff. But yes, yeah,
Too
he has
easy.
done a
Piece
lot
of
of research and work on 180 Emblem, which is a really fun, like 9 hour, around 9-ish outright. How far have you gotten it down?
852.05.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So a little
Right.
under 9 hours of a run.
And that does include raising Chow. It's
Yes.
very, very fun to
He
do.
knows everything about raising Chow. And it's always very nice to all of them.
Oh my god, please. So here what I'm doing is I'm manipulating Shadow's AI. If I chain my homing attacks in just the right way, I can chain the hits together so that I could do my third homing attack while he's homing attacking, and his AI doesn't know how to deal with that. So he's vulnerable during those frames, and I could just constantly keep hitting him, chaining him over and over again. And then that's the end of Hero Story.
And yeah, I guess that's time.
Yeah.
Sorry, I kind of interrupted you while.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It was wanted to explain, but hopefully that was good and interesting for you guys. I know it's not your typical run because I'm pausing and explaining stuff, but it's all the
That's
stuff
the
that
point
you.
of this show.
You're right. It's all the stuff that you don't get to hear about when runners are doing runs because they have to explain it so quickly when
Right,
they're
exactly.
moving on to their next thing. So you don't get like a full detailed explanation, or maybe like you sometimes can't visualize it because the thing has already happened. So being able to pause and slow down and stuff is a really cool concept for people who are not familiar with the run itself.
Right, exactly. So you're running, like, this is like the latest, I mean, this is the regular version you would get on PC, right?
Right. Yeah. So this is just the
Yeah.
vanilla PC Steam version.
Yes, it's all
Uh,
within this game.
Yeah, you can run on
Nothing
any
is patched
version you
out.
want. The way that they're timing runs right now is by in-game time, so you add up your individual times in the stage. So you can run on the Dreamcast version, and you'll be at a slight disadvantage because there's some stuff you can't do in the Dreamcast version. But in terms of loading and stuff, that doesn't.
Gotcha. Somebody's asking about homing attack and if there's a rhythm to it or if you spam it.
For the last ones, there's a specific rhythm that you want to do. If you try to spam it, the AI will just constantly keep jumping, I think.
Right.
Or
Yeah, I've had that problem.
Or Sonic will just like throw a like homing attack off the stage. So you want to do the homing attack in a specific rhythm where the AI will think, oh, it's safe to homing attack, and then that's when you get it.
Oh, for anybody who's like, oh, it's over. No, this show is far from over. We have
Oh yeah,
plenty more to go.
Yeah, if you thought that stuff was crazy, wait until you see what's gonna happen next.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because the Chow Key glitch stuff is it's like when I first saw it and discovered it, I was like, what is going on? This is not supposed to happen in a Sonic game. Even though Sonic games are
Right.
broken, I was just like, this is crazy because you're messing with the game's code.
Yes.
Like
Stick around
when
if
you do
you'd
the
like
Chow
to
Key
see. Stick around if you'd like to see some Sonic Adventure 2 that you've never seen before.
glitch. Yeah.
Unless
it's
you
very,
also
very
have done
cool.
this glitch. Plus, we should do the Final Rush.
Yeah, we could do that.
Love to.
For sure. But yeah, while the credits roll, do you want to do the break now, or it's up to you?
Yeah, this is going to be a great opportunity for us to go take a break. Before we do so, I just want to remind you all that AGDQ 2020 Online is coming up soon. This January 3rd through the 10th. Oh my gosh, it's coming up so soon. I am very excited and nervous because I'm going to be busy during it. Okay, but you can go to gamesdonequick.com, check out the schedule. You can tweet at us at gamesdonequick and tell us what you're most interested in seeing. Also, prize submissions for this upcoming AGDQ are open still now through December 26th. So if you would like to submit a prize for during the marathon that people can win, you have until through December 26th to do so. And if you're watching on YouTube and would like to support our live content, please consider checking out the Twitch channel at twitch.tv/gamesdonequick. Or it says /GDQ. Perhaps that works as well. I should double check that. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe to any Twitch channel of your choice every month for free. So please consider using your Prime Gaming account to support the weekly GDQ hotfix content. Because super fun. I'm having a great time so far. Talon, hopefully you're having a great time so far too.
Oh, having a great time. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew you would be really excited about breaking these things down and explaining more because it's something that it's just it's an interesting thing for you as it is for me. Also, Hotfix is funded in part thanks to your subscriptions. So please consider subscribing to support future broadcasts. Like, for example, using that Prime Gaming account. So just things that you can do, things that you can consider. Don't forget about AGDQ. I'll remind you again later. But for now, we are going to take a quick break. We will be back in just a few minutes with the awesome Final Rush skip and Chowkly glitch before we get into Sonic Heroes. Welcome back to That's Never Happened Before. Hi, I'm Kungfufruitcup, or you can just call me Fu. Fu, Kung Fu, any of those work for me. I am joined by Talon2461 today, who has been showing off some awesome Sonic Adventure 2 glitches. He did a run for us and kind of broke down some of the more important glitches and some of the tech that you use in the run. And now we're going to get to see another big glitch in one of the stages that we didn't see during the run, and then we'll see another really huge, cool one after that you don't actually do in any of the main categories itself. So Talon, I'm gonna leave it to you.
Okay. So this is the skip that you'd normally see in a hero story run in the Final Rush. It is very cool, but like if you do this skip, you skip all the the cool wall run stuff and all the other movement in Final Rush, which I really enjoyed doing, and you get to do in a 180 run, continue the A rank. But this skip is still really cool too, and it saves a bunch of time.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, so let's give it a try. So this stage, Final Rush overall, is very open, and the goal ring, oh my god, I almost died. And the goal ring is, you like keep going. You might notice that you keep having to go downwards, so you keep going down and down and down. So
similar to the last Tails one.
Yeah, similar to Eternal Engine. That's why it's a very similar kind of idea. You're just doing it as Sonic. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break out of bounds kind of, but because the stage is so open, like what is out of bounds? Essentially, in this case, I'm trying to go past a specific kill plane. So there's a place where two kill planes intersect, but there's a tiny gap between the two. And so what I'm trying to do is I bounce. So I use that skewed gravity, using gravity manipulation with the bounce bracelet, and I bounce past one of the kill planes before I hit the other one, and then go around it. And then hopefully, if I do it correctly, I'll have enough distance where I can fall directly to the end of the stage.
So you somehow are able to just surpass the built-in death planes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing is the death planes are invisible, so you can't actually see when you passed it. You just have to kind of feel it out and use cues such as in terms of directions where you're going, you have to use the background of the stage, and you have to use your timer. So in this case, I'm after I do the bounce, I count to 17. So I count 17 seconds. I've never tried it counting out loud, but I could give it a try. But it's so it's 17 seconds, and then in a very specific direction, and then I reset my gravity and I turn around and I fall into a specific part of the stage. So let's give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
So this rail here, bounce, so 205. So I want about a 222. I'm not a huge fan of this angle. So once I hit 222, I'm gonna reset my gravity. And then I'm gonna turn this way. Here, hopefully I go past the kill plane. I think that's fine. The only thing is now.
Yes.
Yeah. So now I look. So basically, there's like a little blue circle. I try to fall in there, and I keep falling, and hopefully this is enough height that I could get to the goal ring. You'll definitely see the end of the stage, but there is another death plane that I have to try to avoid. Plus, if I don't have enough height, I won't make it to the goal ring. So let's see. Oh, there's the end of the stage.
Here we go.
Yeah, so I need to fall right about here. I'm kind of low compared to where I normally like to be. And you might notice that little red ramp. That's the end of the stage, if you remember. Final Rush. I'm gonna fall right here. There we go. And here's the end of the stage. Yeah. Easy peasy.
Yes!
Yeah, you can see why we wanted to show that one as well.
Yeah, it's a very, very cool skip to see.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I'm just trying to like figure out how to re-explain it. I think it's like pretty. It's straightforward in terms of explanation. It's just harder in terms of execution to make sure you have the right timing and the right angle when you turn.
So luckily, because it's not a blank canvas in the background, you can use the specific positions of things like visual cues in the background. So like there's little buildings or like spots on the earth that you can use. And so those are the cues that I particularly use. And then you use the timer as a count. So you count for 17 seconds, and that should clear you past the kill plane. If you go for like 19 seconds, you'll hit the second kill plane. And
my gosh.
that's the one. So you have to. It's got a decent amount of window, but for when you can't see the kill planes, a 2-second window is kind of scary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
so now we're going into something that I'm guessing almost none of you have ever seen.
Yeah, some of you might know a tiny bit about it, or like if you've ever been interested in glitches in Sonic Adventure 2, because once the HD version came out, this glitch was discovered. It became a big thing because of the stuff that you can do with it. But before I go into explaining the glitch, I need to explain what so it's called the Chow Key glitch. But I'm going to explain what the Chow Key itself is first. So I'm going to go ahead and Aquatic Mind Mission 3.
Oh yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah. Exactly. So the Chow Key is there are these boxes, these little blue boxes in the stage, and then I think there's 3 at each stage.
Can you jump on it so we can see it better?
Oh, sorry.
You broke it.
I could restart. Yeah, this one is like they're usually hidden in the stage, so they could be kind of hard to see. But there's this little box, as you can see here, and it has the Chow symbol on it. When you break it, the Chow Key spawns, and then when you collect it, you'll notice that the Chow. This is kind of important for the glitch. The Chow Key actually moves to just under the timer, and then it turns into a 2D emblem, and you can see the little 2D Chow face staring at you. So when you complete the stage, the game is going to warp you to the Chow Garden. So this is Aquatic Mind Mission 3. I have to find the lost Chow. The speedrun tech for this is you click through the sign, which you saw me do in Mission 1. Yeah, the camera is not cooperating with me there. Hello? Okay. So I just want to complete the stage. It's a really quick one to do. And the game is going to send me... Yeah, the game is going to send me into the Chow Garden after you collect the Chow Key. And in terms of what the game is doing in like the background code, it's doing 2 things. One, it's saying that, hey, you should be warping to a different stage. Instead of going back to the stage select screen, you should be warping.
Can you go see if a Chow real quick?
Okay, it's from my last 180 run, so they're not going to be like anything super special. I have this little blue guy. Very cute.
Well, just for those who haven't seen it.
Yeah, so these are little Chow. It's like a little cool pet simulator. A lot of people play this game for the Chow stuff, rightfully so. They're very, very
Yeah,
cute.
the little animals you collect, you can give them to the Chow, and then they'll like adopt those characteristics of them visually, and also get like different stats depending on which animals you give them, and then you can race them and have, they like have a little karate thing, and you can watch Talon just beat all of those no problem in 180 emblems.
I thought you were going to say something else there.
No. I'm not going to explain how you get them to a high level. I'm just going to explain that you win everything.
Okay. Yeah, so the actual Chow stuff isn't important. The Chow Key is the important thing here.
So what do we do now?
Yeah, so the Chow Key, like I was saying, it does 2 things. One, it says you should be warping to a different stage. You shouldn't be going back to the stage select screen. And the second thing, it sets the stage. So the Chow Key, the Chow Garden, I think in the game's code is stage 90, if I remember correctly. Something else in hexadecimal. But essentially, it sets the warp position where it should be warping to as the Chow Garden. And how the Chow Key glitch works is what you want to do is you want to flip on that switch that says you should be warping to a different stage, but you want to not set it to the Chow Garden. You want to disable that check. And so the way that you do this is you do the Chow Key glitch. And I'm going to show you what happens in the Chow Key. So this is the easiest one.
So we're collecting the Chow Key to then just like reset where it's trying to send us after, even though it wants to take us to the Chow world.
Exactly, yeah.
And then something else is going to happen.
Yeah, so this is where the Chow Key glitch was discovered because it happens naturally. Some of you might have seen it before. So if you
also,
remember,
real quick,
Yep.
just for anybody again who's new to the game, I think it's good to mention that this is a character used on the dark
On the
story,
dark
which
side,
is
yes,
the
on the dark story.
which is like the quote unquote evil characters. So that's like the other side of the like a different speed run that you do in like kind of the same vein.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So this is another Chow box. So if you remember, when I collect the Chow key, it's supposed to go underneath the timer and turn into a 2D emblem. But you'll notice that when I collect this one here, that it doesn't. Instead, it kind of floats there as this little 3D thing.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's not like fully collected. And this happens naturally. If you're playing the HD version of this game, and you try to do this yourself, this is what will happen. You don't have to do anything else special. It doesn't work on the GameCube and Dreamcast versions, and I'll explain that later. But what this has done is it's enabled that switch that says, hey, you should be warping, but it hasn't set the stage. It hasn't set the Chow Garden stage. And so it sets the default stage at 0-0, which is the test level. So if you're playing on the PS3 or the Xbox 360 versions, it will send you to a different stage, which I'm going to show you right now. On the PC, it does still send you to the Chow Garden because they kind of patched it, but there's a way to get around that patch, which is what I did so I could show you the test level. So yeah, so I got the Chow key glitch. It set me to warp to the stage, but it hasn't set it to the Chow Garden, so it's gonna warp me. Oh, wait, hang on. It should warp me to the test level. Let me try.
Okay. So then, what did you do when you collected the key to make it try to set you otherwise instead of going here?
Right. So basically, I'm gonna do it again. I apologize.
Right.
Let's try and do it again. So yeah, so it is a wrong
got
warp.
everything else first try.
Yeah. I apologize. Cat, I'll take it. Yeah, it is a kind of wrong warp. So for some reason, when they made the HD port, because it's 16:9 instead of 4:3, when you collect the Chow key, it has to go a little bit further. It has that little extra distance to go. And because of that, it doesn't make it to the timer properly. So it doesn't get to that position on the screen. Because you see that the Chow key physically moves. This is something I don't quite understand myself as well.
Okay.
Like, I know what it does with the game's code, but it's kind of... So you see that the Chow key moves, but it doesn't quite get to its final position. It kind of just hovers around there. Because it's actually physically moving from that part of the stage to the 2D, the 2D screen. So when I collect...
What you mean by you haven't quite collected it.
Yeah.
Because it just moved up to that corner without changing into the icon officially.
Right, yeah. And because
Okay.
I think because the game is stretched in 16:9, so like it has a different resolution, it has further to travel. This is stuff that I'm not 100% sure on. But like I think that because this glitch doesn't work on the GameCube or the Dreamcast version because it's in 4:3. But when you stretch it to 16:9, it does. So it's like it's a little strange.
So I mean, basically, just collecting the key in this version will take you there, or is there
Yes.
anything else special you have to do?
So in this case, because of the way the camera is, like the camera kind of zooms out, it has the properties that the Chow key wouldn't reach to the end because of the camera
Okay.
position, if that makes sense.
Okay. So I feel like this would be pretty easy for somebody to do.
Right, yeah. All you have to do is just collect the Chow key in this one. This is how it was first discovered. Hopefully this sends me to the test level.
Okay. We saw it earlier. I saw it happen earlier.
Why is it not?
Maybe
Okay,
it's because we're
that's strange.
taking too long or something.
Maybe. Okay, I'm gonna try it one more time because I want you guys to see the test level. And my game crashed.
Okay. Maybe that's part of it.
I apologize. Yeah. Hang on.
I need to see it too when you're back up.
File select.
That's really interesting. How did I do
Yeah.
that? Hey, that's why this show is called what it is. That's never happened before.
Okay. Let's try it
It's the
again.
first time that's happened?
No, this game crashes all the time.
Oh, I mean, for this exact reason.
Yes, for this, say again?
Hi.
Oh, Okay.
All right.
Yeah, this game unfortunately does crash a lot. It actually, I think it crashed during a GDQ run at one point too, which is great.
Told you it's like a perfect game
Yeah.
for
Alright.
speedrunning. Sometimes. Really weird that it's just
Yeah.
built
So you,
just not.
yeah. So you see how the
Right.
camera zooms out when you get to this
Yeah.
position. It's to do with the camera position, and you'll see that when I do the Chao key glitch for other characters.
Yeah, that's what I can't wait to see.
Hopefully, it sends me to the test level this time.
Find out. We know it's possible.
Yes, I did do it before.
Yeah. Okay, we have time.
No!
We have
Why
time.
is it
We
being
have
so
time.
silly? Okay.
Eggman really wants to hang out with the Chow.
He really wants to hang out with the Chow. Let me see. Okay, one more try, and then I'll just continue the explanation because I don't want to get too caught up in this and lose people's attention.
No worries.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in seeing it. So
Yeah,
if there's something you need to adjust, let me know.
Yeah, I tested this a bunch before it happened.
Do you think anything
But
was
let's-
adjusted between when you started and now?
I'm not sure.
Okay. A patch.
They patched it, dude. They knew I was gonna do this, and they patched
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Can you do it in any other stage, or is this the one?
You can, yes. So that's what I'm eventually going to show you and explain.
Okay, great. Okay, so we will see it one way.
Yeah,
or
you will see it, and you will see the
Great.
crazy stuff that it does.
Okay,
It's
cool.
just this specific thing. Basically, I think because they discovered the Chao key glitch before the PC version came out, they basically set it so that if the game ever reads it as going to the test level, they just send you to the Chao Garden instead.
Sure. Okay.
There we go. Okay, cool. Yeah. So as so if you might remember, as I said, the game has enabled that warping so that I'm not supposed to go back to the stage select screen. But it hasn't set the level. It hasn't set the level as the Chao Garden. So it set it to 0, which is the default level, which is the test level, which you're not supposed to be in. And this area is really cool. You can do it if you do the Chao key glitch as any other characters. You'll be able to get in here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
It is
feel
yeah,
like-
it is very strange, and you could do it as any character, but you have to set the camera in a very specific position. But the way that it's used in speedruns is you want to be able to manipulate that level, right? You want to be able to change that value of the level, and there's two
Right.
known ways to do that. One is which I'm gonna exit. I mean, I could wander around the test level a bit more so you guys can see. But it's just basically.
Is there anything like interesting to show off in here?
Nothing.
Like testing out different physics and.
Nothing super crazy. It just has like a rail and it has the platforms and numbers and whatever.
It looks great. I don't know why this isn't in the main game.
Yeah.
Looks perfect.
But yeah, a lot of people were confused because they were grabbing the Chao key in Cosmic War Mission 3, and then they were coming to this level, and people didn't understand why it was happening for a while. Because it was just happening naturally. And then that's how then speedrunners came in, and they glitch experts came in, and they looked through things, particularly Darkspine Sonic, some of you might know who he is, and he found a whole bunch of stuff to do with this. And a lot of what I'm going to be explaining was found by DSS. So,
Great.
so as I was saying, what you want to do is you want to be able to change that level value. And there's two ways that the game naturally does this. And one of the ways is in Cannon's Core. So in Cannon's Core, for those of you who don't know, it's the final stage in Sonic Adventure 2, where you play as 5 different characters. So you start off playing as Tails, and then you play as Eggman, and then Knuckles. Oh, sorry, and then Rouge, and then Knuckles, and then Sonic. But in order for the game to move you between characters, it warps you from one stage to another.
Right.
So the game warps you from Tails into Eggman. And the way that the game does that is it enables that warp switch. And it also sets the level. So if I'm doing Cannon's Core Mission 2, and I go from Tails' section into Eggman's section.
What's Mission 2?
No, Mission 2 is collect 100 rings. So right now I need to collect 100 rings to finish the mission. So I'm in Mission 2. I'm going to try to collect 100 rings, but I'm going to go into Eggman's section first. So the game has warped me into Eggman's section, and so it set that level value. Instead of it being the test level as the default or the Chow Garden, it set it to Cannon's Core. So the level value is
because of the I see the warping.
Right.
It's like this is where you're going.
Yeah. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys, chat.
That's why I had to rephrase it. So I was trying to understand too.
Yeah. So that level value is there, and as long as I don't exit out of, because when you exit out of the stage, it resets. But if I complete the stage in Eggman section, the value stays. And so that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to
So
not
it'll be
get
like
hit.
we're gonna warp back to this mission.
Yeah. Oh God. Being extra careful.
Now you can get to the other side if you use blocks wisely.
Thanks.
Well.
I didn't know that.
I just wanted to share. Okay. So we are beating the stage here. So the game thinks the last place to warp you is back in this stage.
Is Cannon's Core. So after we do this, we're going to go back to the stage select screen naturally. With the key difference that the default level, or the level that it's set to warp, is no longer the test level. It's now Cannon's Core. So now, if I do the Chow key glitch, the game will enable that warp switch, but it's not going to set it to the Chow Garden. It will stay as its previous value, which is Cannon's Core.
Right.
So, I'm going to go into Wild Canyon. I'm going to do Mission 3.
Okay.
Mission 3 is Find the Lost Chow. And I'm going to do the Chow key glitch here. So... there's a Chow box that's right over on this side. Now, remember, as I said, the Chow key glitch is dependent on how the Chow key actually moves on the screen
into the
itself.
Corner, turn into the icon, right?
Yeah. So exactly. So if I get the Chow box and I just get the Chow key here, it will just work normally. And so I don't want that to happen. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to climb up here. I'm going to destroy this enemy. And then I'm going to lock my camera. So in order to lock the camera, I'm going to hold the L and R buttons so the camera kind of stays in this position. And then I'm going to slightly walk off the stage. And then the camera should get stuck on the floor if I do this correctly. Okay, it didn't that time. Try it again.
Okay, I know slowing it down can potentially accidentally adjust it sometimes.
So
that's okay.
Apologize.
Don't apologize. It's more interesting for us to be able to see.
Yeah, but I want the camera to be stuck.
Okay.
And that's what's going to cause the Chow key to trigger.
Because it won't be able to
just like that.
go where it's supposed to go.
You're right. So you see that it's kind of stuck right now.
Huh.
But I'm standing directly on top of the Chow key box. So if I jump and I drill claw, I'll collect the Chow key. But it takes a bit longer to get to its position. So that's what triggers it. Yeah. So that's how you know that you've got the Chow key glitch. Is it doesn't change on that screen.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
it does that.
really helpful.
It does that little 3D animation.
Right.
So now I'm gonna beat the stage. So I'm gonna go get the lost Chow and.
Okay, so you just dug behind that when you're not supposed to.
Right. Yeah. So this is a minor thing. It's not to do with the Chow key glitch, but this is just how you do the stage. So if you rub up against the collision here, you can break behind the statue, and then there's no collision, like in the statue's head if you go downwards. So if I just jump and I drill claw, I go out of bounds. And then these are the small minor rooms that you can go to, and the lost Chow is just over here. It's just yeah. So as I said, the warp thing is enabled, so it's gonna warp me. But the last stage that it was selected was Cannon's Core, So it warps me to Canon's core, as you can see, and the game crashed, which is fantastic. But at least you got to see it for a few seconds.
Oh my
like
gosh.
I said, the game sometimes gets unhappy with you. But
Yeah, because you just fell through into nothing.
right. So because the game
decided-
isn't programmed to have Knuckles in that particular part of Canon's core, it spawned me, it killed me, and then the game crashed.
That's awesome. Can you have
but
like how many characters can you put in how many stages with this?
right, so that's what I'm gonna get to. That's
Okay.
the really fun part of this trick. So you'll notice that Knuckles was in Rouge's part of Canon's core, because it only changed the stage value. It didn't change the character value, and it didn't change what mission you were in. So I actually ended up in Canon's core mission 3. It's just unfortunately you didn't get to see any of it because the game crashed.
Wait, why did it change from mission 2 to 3?
Because I entered Wild Canyon in mission 3, the game
weird.
doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, the game doesn't change that for some reason. Let's see this. Yeah.
So it keeps the value of the level, and then based on where, like the last one you completed, and warps to, but then it holds on to like the type of mission you actually just beat.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So so I mentioned that there were two ways where you can manipulate the level values naturally. So one was Canon's core, where it warps you, and the other is sorry, doing one sec.
Sure. Oh, thank you.
The other is when you go into 2-player mode. So this is really, really funny. Basically, if you do a best out of 3 in 2-player mode, which is what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to be playing against myself. But so if you do a best, if you do a best out of 3, that just comes through. If you do a best out of 3, when it warps you from the first level into this next level, that's what it's doing. It's setting that it's changing that level value. So I'm going to choose. They're both pretty fun. I kind of want to do final. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So we're gonna.
We did have a request for Final Chase. Eggman in Final Chase. Yeah, I see that again.
Okay. So we could try to do that.
Okay.
So I enabled the best out of 3, and this is something that you could also do at home, very, very easily.
This is part of the magic of the show as well, if you all
Yeah.
want to try things like this.
Yeah, it's so crazy because you're just like, what are you doing? If you come into this, you're just like, what are you doing in 2-player mode? Yeah, so I'm gonna beat Final Rush. They're shorter versions of the stages. I also don't have the bounce bracelet, so this is gonna be a little slow.
Yeah. Gotta hurry up.
So I'm gonna beat Final Rush, and then after it's gonna send me into Final Chase, or it should send me into Final Chase. And that's the game changing the level value from Final Rush, from the test
makes
level
sense.
to Final Chase. So now if I go and I do Eggman's Chowkey glitch in Cosmic War, which is what I'll go back to do in a second, the game is gonna enable that warp switch, but it's not going to set the Chow Garden as the level. It's going to set it as Final Chase, and it's
Okay.
not going to change the character either. So that's the crazy stuff that you can do, like from just a casual standpoint, non-speedrunning.
Yeah.
Is you
can't
can
wait.
put different characters in different levels without having to hack the game at all. You're just glitching
Right.
around.
Well, but that Chowkey glitch for Eggman works on, like, you have to modify the PC version, otherwise you have to do it on.
No, so for this you don't have to modify the PC version. Sorry, I should have made that clearer. The PC version, they only fixed it for the test level. They didn't fix it for the other stages.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, any version, you all.
Yeah, any version. The only thing is the Chowkey glitch doesn't work in a 4x3 version, or this version of the Chowkey glitch.
Okay.
Doesn't work in the 4x3, so you
GameCube.
can't do it on GameCube or Dreamcast. Yeah.
Dreamcast. Yeah, okay.
But you can do it on PS3, you can do it on the Xbox 360, and you can do it on the PC. There is another version of the Chowkey glitch that you can. Oh my god. Okay. that you can do on the GameCube and the Dreamcast version if you do want to search that up. I'm not going to go through that because it's a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
But
Remember, he doesn't have super bouncing right now, so
yeah, so this is so it's slow.
yeah,
I apologize. I'm going as fast as I can.
so much faster than I go. I played this game a lot as a kid, but it was mostly again for the Chow Garden. This one is fun though. The poles are really fun. Not poles. Gosh.
Oh, what the heck was that? Yeah, sorry. Final Rush has this obnoxious sound effect. We're almost done. Almost done.
Yeah.
And then we'll do Final Chase.
You're actually seeing the level like pretty normally right now. Okay, there you go. So that's the thing you would usually fall into from the big skip that you saw just a little bit ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, the game should send me to Final Chase. There we go. So now the value has changed to Final Chase. So now I have to get through Final Chase because I can't exit it.
Okay.
If I exit it out, then the game resets it back to the default level. So
Okay,
do have
that's
to
what
go
I
through
was
Final
gonna
Chase.
ask about. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to do something that warps your character from one
Yeah. So
level
it is
or part of a level to another.
Yeah, so it is a little bit involved in order to set it up, but the payoff, I think, is worth it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really excited. This is actually something that I've never seen before, you all. So I'm. It's gonna be so goofy.
Hopefully the game doesn't crash. Yeah. Game can sometimes get very unhappy when you start messing with the code. Just like a lot of just like a lot of games out there.
Right. I know. There's also. I'm sure you've noticed that there's like little bits of tech that he's doing throughout this as well. That's kind of like very minor, like skips or things, techniques that he's doing. Like there's a little baby section that you skipped and stuff like that. There we go. That was pretty good.
Go, Sonic. Gravity tubes work 100% flawlessly. Can you go up, Sonic? Oh my god! I'm literally just holding up, trying to get to the goal ring, but it's not. It doesn't want
Perfect
me
game.
to.
Perfect game. Can we get some 10 out of 10s? 10 out of 10. Perfect game.
Okay. So I'm pressing no. Now you have to be very
Okay, I'm
careful
ready.
about this.
I'm so ready.
We go into one player, stage select. We're gonna go do back to Cosmic War. We'll do mission 3. And we're gonna do the Chowkey glitch. And again, my level my level is set to Final Chase at the moment. If I got the Chow Key normally, it would set it to the Chow Garden, but I'm gonna do the Chow Key glitch, so it wouldn't.
Right. We had a question. If you had selected Final Chase, would you have been warped to Final Rush?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's the last one that it sends you to, if that makes sense.
Somebody asked, would people consider Sonic Adventure 2 the best game in the series?
Well, okay. This is a conversation that happens a lot. It's my personal favorite. I really like
too.
Sonic Adventure 2. It's my personal favorite Sonic game. But I love the 2D Sonic games, and I think the trilogy is very cool. Like Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles. But I don't want to get into all of that. I love this game a lot because of the nostalgia and because
Right.
I played so many
Right.
hours in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sonic Adventure 2 is my personal. Okay, so I've done the Chowkey glitch, and now it's hopefully, as you can see, Final Chase, but it has the gray
Yes!
emblem. And now I'm Eggman in Final Chase. And you spawn you spawn in the default position. You're clearly not supposed to be here, as you can tell.
Oh my gosh. You can't even use the rails, can you?
No, there are if you try to interact with certain objects, the game will just crash because the game will be like, oh, Eggman is not supposed to be doing this.
Oh my
and then
gosh.
it'll just be like, I don't know
Well,
what.
I
I
saw
don't
him
know
kind
what
of
to do.
phase through a rail for a little bit.
Yeah, so like you can't really interact with the rails, but what you can interact with, as you're about to see,
The gravity tubes?
Oh, the gravity tubes. the first time I did this, I just left Eggman on this for so long. It was so funny to me.
Oh my
It's
Oh
great.
god, I'm crying.
Yeah. But yeah, he can get through the stage and get to the Lost Chow. He doesn't do it very well, and he really doesn't like. Oh my god, to jump off these gravity tubes.
Hang on, I'm crying. I'm getting a napkin.
You okay? Yeah. Well, I told you the payout as well. It takes a while to set up, but it's definitely worth it.
But I just didn't expect that to look so dirty.
But yeah, you could do so. Theoretically, you can do this with every character and almost every stage, as long as it's selectable in 2-player mode as a battle of 3. And oh my god, he's going super fast in this. Eggman in Final Chase is one of the best ones. You could do Eggman in City Escape. That's also a really good one, but it runs the risk of crashing sometimes. I can't Kung Fu has stopped working. It's great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so there are so the person who did a lot of the discovery, he wasn't the only person who did this, but it's a guy called Darkspine Sonic. Some of you might know of him. He's done a lot of speedruns and a lot of glitch hunting, and he's done some fantastic YouTube videos on this stuff. If you didn't quite understand some of the stuff that I said, he's done great explanations. Obviously, this is just for a bit of fun, as you can see. But you can actually do this in a speedrun setting, and that was the thing that yeah, you're fine. That was the thing that that I found really interesting, and I'm gonna try to show it off for you guys now. It does involve doing the 2-player stuff. So while I'm setting it up, I'm gonna start explaining it. Once you
got to get off that tube. Help me out.
Okay, let's so should I exit out? Is it okay to exit out, chat? Before I make anybody dizzy? Okay.
Oh.
Select the stage.
It does work. Oh, I should have shown the vertical tubes too. It's okay. It does work on the vertical tubes as well.
I'm already dying.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back into 2-player mode, and I'm gonna set my stage. So in the same way that I did with Final Chase, I'm going to set my stage to Security Hall. So we're gonna go into hunting.
I will protect the Master Emerald. Select the stage.
Gonna go to Battle of 3, make sure that's enabled. So it's a bit of RNG because it's 50-50 whether you go into headquarters or Security Hall, but I want Security Hall here. So this works the same way. Have you recovered, Kung Fu?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I'm working on it. That was I just anything that's very, very silly, like goofy movement like that, things that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to show this off, because this is something that will probably not be shown in a GDQ marathon.
Oh,
but it's
absolutely not.
Yeah, but it's so cool, and it's crazy how a linear this game doesn't have an overworld. It's crazy how a linear game I got sent to headquarters. Let's do it again.
This time, I'm
It's crazy how a linear game like this you can manipulate stuff like that. To
Yeah,
me, because
absolutely.
a lot of the games where you have wrong warps and sequence breaks are like overworld games, open games. So things like Ocarina of Time, or even Sonic Adventure 1, you can kind of do some stuff because it has an overworld. But Sonic Adventure 2, there isn't an overworld, so you have to find more interesting ways to break the game.
Right. We can.
Yep.
Oh, that was
Can this glitch save time in speedruns? Yes. So that's why I'm gonna show you this right now. Hopefully, if it sends me to Security Hall.
this time.
Oh no.
Come on. Yeah. It could be. This is a 50-50. I just lost 50-50
I
twice.
am one with the Master Emerald.
also-
Yes, Railkun, I could. But one, it has the risk of sending me back to Dry Lagoon, and two, my 2-player is set to my keyboard, and I don't really want to play this game on keyboard. But you bring up a very interesting and good question. I wouldn't even know all I've mapped to my keyboard are the A button and the start button, I think.
Okay. Oh, that would not be helpful. Okay, I'm good. I've recovered. I can get your questions, chat, so Talon doesn't have to look anymore.
I mean, it's okay. I always have chat up. Wow,
Right. Okay. So, but the Chowkey glitch, this would be different. This is not going to be considered for any of the main categories like Hero Story or...
Right, it has its separate category. So the Chowkey glitch is
Correct.
banned in all categories apart from one specific category, which we call any percent. And you'll see why we call it any
The
percent.
true any percent.
Yeah. And it's because of what I'm going to show you right now. It's, so you saw the wrong warping, and this is going to be sequence breaking. I was just hoping to get into security hall first before I start explaining stuff about it.
Not as strong as you thought you were.
I think the estimate is really appropriate for this
You have no chance.
for this category.
This time, I'm serious.
Okay. I was not banking on losing 4 50-50s, so this is pretty great.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we'll make it work.
You get to see Dry Lagoon a lot.
Dry Lagoon's a nice level.
My destiny.
Again, one we haven't seen in Hero Story because it's one of Rouge's level on the Dark
Right,
Story.
on the Dark Story, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is one reason why you probably won't see this run at a GDQ. It's also, there's other reasons too.
Not as strong as you thought you were.
Can we get 0 for 5? Please no, I want to show off stuff. I can't, come on!
This time, I'm serious.
I have the giggles. Let's not make it worse.
I'm sorry, this is not intended. I'm trying, I was not expecting this.
Talon, can you say can you say that when you've tried this, that's never
This is,
happened?
I don't think I've lost it 5 times in a row.
All right,
Yeah,
that's never happened.
That's
before.
never
Let's
happened
go.
before.
Let's go. Name drop. Title drop.
Not as strong as you thought you were.
I promise you, it's a 50-50 chance to get into Security Hall. But apparently it's not. I honestly don't understand what's happening. I promise you it's a 50-50 chance. We've tested it. It's definitely a 50-50 chance.
One with the Master Emerald.
It's RNG manipulation. This is all intended. Definitely all intended. Yeah, could you select the other level to start? No, I think we need to spawn into Security Hall.
You need to spawn into it.
That's
So
why I roll the
that's
credits.
that's the important part. You need to spawn into it. So you can't just select Security Hall. And if you selected Headquarters, it can send you into Dry Lagoon. So it's still a 50-50.
Yeah, that's why it's not RNG manipulation. We're very specifically trying to get Security Hall set up.
Right, yes. People in my chat know that it is a 50-50 because when you do runs, you have to set this up first during the run.
All right, we need some energy. Energy in the chat. I know there's a delay.
You have no chance
For the next
against
round,
This
let's
time,
get the
I'm
energy in
serious.
there.
Okay, I wonder if something is actually. I'm stuck because what is that, 7 or 8,
I am
right?
one with the Master
Yeah.
Emerald.
I won't lose to the likes of you.
Something. Yeah, something.
What?
Didn't you not change your warp pointer?
It shouldn't affect this.
It's closer.
I'm pretty sure it shouldn't affect this.
Destiny.
But usually if something comes up 50-50 missed 7 times,
It's closer.
Yeah.
it's super unlikely.
Right.
As strong as you thought you were.
8 time is the charm. Here we go. 8, 9. Let's find out. Is something
Yes!
wrong?
Okay, finally! Finally! Okay.
Hey, big pop off for that.
Oh my god, I apologize. Jesus. Jeez Louise.
Stop apologizing. We're having a lot of fun here. Chat, we're having a lot of fun, right? We get some hype in the chat. There's already hype over just getting the level. See.
You need more practice.
Oh, okay. So that's the setup. God. Okay. So now Security Hall is set as my level to warp to. Hopefully that's clear. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into story mode. So normally what you do in any percent run, you start from a new file, you can go into 2-player and you can do Security Hall straight away from a new file. But what I'm going to do here is that then what you do after you do that is you go into Dark Story if you're doing the any percent run, and you'd run through Dark Story all the way up to Radical Highway. But just to save some time instead of going through all of that, I'm going to go straight to Radical Highway. And I'm going to do the Chowkey glitch here. So you'll notice that when I select here, there's a cutscene. So the cutscene is what we call an event. So it's there's like a sequence of events when you select story mode. So you have a cutscene, and then you might have a stage, and then you have another cutscene, and you might have another cutscene, and then a boss fight. So this is one of the cutscene before Radical Highway. And then after this event, you'll go to the next event. So it's like a storyboard.
We interrupt this broadcast.
Okay. Skip that. So you have another cutscene, that's in one event, and then you have the stage, which is Radical Highway. So after Radical Highway, you'll be sent to the next event, which would be the cutscene before Headquarters. But what you could do with the Chowkey glitch is instead, if you do the Chowkey glitch, and you warp to a different level, it replaces the next event. So the thing that would normally be a cutscene is replaced with the level that you're warping to. Does that make sense? Kung Fu?
Yes.
Tell me if you're not following it, I could explain it again. Because
Right.
I know it could be a bit complicated to understand.
Right. Just either say it one more time or see if you can like paraphrase for those who.
So yeah, so think about it as like a storyboard, and what you're doing is you're replacing the cutscene event on the storyboard with another level, with a separate level.
Okay. Where the story should be is going to be a level.
Right, exactly.
Okay. There we go.
So this Chowkey glitch is kind of tricky to do with Shadow. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, sweet. Okay, I see
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah, so what I'm doing here is I set the camera to be really far away from the Chowkey, so it has longer to travel, and then I lock the camera, and I make the jump, and if I do it fast enough, I can trigger the Chowkey glitch to happen.
Right. You need to have like a fast enough jump with enough distance to get over to
Exactly.
the platform in time.
Right, yeah. So now
With
I'm
the
going to
camera
finish
hold.
yeah. So now I'm going to finish the stage, and instead of it being sent, so it's triggered that little warp thing, saying,
Mm-hmm.
hey, you should be going to a stage, or like another stage.
Right.
And it's going to replace the natural event that I normally have, which would be the cutscene before Headquarters, with
Okay.
the warp stage. And if you remember that the warp stage is Security Hall, so instead of getting the cutscene, I'm gonna get Security Hall instead of the cutscene.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now, but I'm playing a Shadow, as if you couldn't tell. So I'm actually
Yes.
going to enter Security Hall as...
It's supposed to be the bat. Rouge the bat.
Which is
stage.
supposed to be Rouge's stage, yes. So Rouge the Bat, the hunting
As
character's
Shadow.
stage. I'm going to be doing it as Shadow, which you'll see. But the important thing is that you're still in story mode, which means you're not on the stage select screen. You're in story mode, and you're locked into that sequence of events where you're supposed to go cutscene, stage, cutscene, boss, cutscene, etc., etc.
Right.
But you're replacing the next event with the Chowkey glitch stage, which is Security Hall. So I'm gonna
It's
finish
out
the
of
stage.
order and
Yeah.
and supposed to be where an event is. And let's see what happens.
So again, this is kind of complicated. So if you don't understand exactly what's happening, feel free to ask questions in chat.
Yeah.
But so
I think
instead of
I think we paraphrased
yeah.
pretty well. Also, yeah, he
Yeah.
grabbed the key.
Yeah, so instead of going to the cutscene, we go to Security Hall as Shadow. It's gonna spawn me randomly at the top of the stage. So you see, I'm in Security Hall as Shadow. So a couple things I wanna show off. So the game doesn't differentiate between goal rings and back rings. So back rings are basically if you can't beat the stage, it spawns the back ring where the goal ring should normally be. So it resets the
yeah.
stage.
Right.
So like if you've run out of rings in a 100 ring mission, but because it's reading this as an action stage, it spawns the normal goal ring. So if I go into that goal ring right now, I would finish the stage, and then
So, okay, so it's doing that because Shadow's there, or because it was supposed to be an event?
So it's doing it
or-
because Shadow is here. So Shadow is
Okay.
an action character, so it programs the goal ring as to be the finale of the stage.
So the
That
ring
makes sense?
is associated with the character in the stage.
Yes,
And that's
exactly.
why. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So if I get so right now I'm supposed to be having a cutscene. This event is supposed to be a cutscene. It's not supposed to be a stage.
Right.
So if I finish this stage, it's gonna throw me back into the story mode, but it will send me to the next event, which is supposed to be Headquarters, I believe. I don't know if I think there might be two cutscenes.
Okay.
It's either another cutscene or it might be Headquarters. But this is where things get really interesting, is you can do the Chow Key glitch in Security Hall as Shadow. And I'm going to do that right now.
So is it going to bring you back here again?
Yeah, so exactly. So it's going to send me to the next event, but it replaces the next event with Security Hall as Shadow.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna lock the camera here. I'm gonna jump.
There's a box right there.
There's a Chow Key box right here.
And now we've done the glitch.
Yeah,
Okay.
so now we do the Chow Key glitch.
You just run really quickly into the goal.
Yeah.
And then you should come right back here.
Right, yeah. So I finished the stage. It's set to
so awkward.
warp
Look at
me. Yeah, I know it. It's set to warp me back. It's set to warp me, and the stage it's reading is Security Hall because that hasn't changed yet. So it's gonna send me straight back to Security Hall. But the only difference is that I'm on a different event. I'm on the next event in the story mode sequence, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm supposed to be doing Security Hall, but instead of doing... Oh, not Security Hall. Now I'm supposed to be doing Egg Quarters, but instead of doing Egg Quarters, I'm doing Security Hall. And
So
we can do
my
it...
guess is you're going to do this over and over until
Exactly. So you could do it over and over again, replacing those events in the story mode. So you don't have to do any of the stages. You don't have to do any of the bosses. You don't have to do any of the cutscenes. All you have to do is Security Hall over and over again. And you can go all the way to Final Chase, which is the final stage in Dark Story, and then you can go... Okay. Oh, kind of stuck. Hang on. So you can go all the way. Yeah, you can go all the way to Final Chase. You can go all the way to. You could replace the Final Chase. You could replace the final boss fight in Dark Story. You can replace the final cutscene. You can replace the credits as well with Security Hall. You just constantly keep replacing those events, and then after you replace the credits, the game naturally ticks over to Last Story, even though you haven't unlocked it yet because it's from a new file. You go into Canon's Core, the final fight of the game, which you're not supposed to be able to access, which is also just Security Hall now.
Okay.
No, that's not gonna work. And so you just constantly keep doing Security Hall, and if you finish the stage normally, it will throw you back into the normal sequence in story mode. So I'm gonna do a couple more just so you guys can really see. Because otherwise, as you can see, it takes a while. In order to go all the way to the final cutscene in Last Story, you have to do this 40 times, which is why it's not a very good marathon category. Because although it's very cool at the start, it gets very repetitive seeing seeing this stage 40 times.
And this is the only stage this works with?
No, you could do it on other stages. This is just the fastest one.
Okay.
So the first time this was found was with Media Herd. But you could do this with any stage. It's just fast with Security Hall and Shadow because the goal ring is right there and the Chow Key is right here.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, good.
There you go. That's crazy.
But how many more?
So if you have to do this 40 times, how much faster is this for any percent versus doing all stories?
It's so all stories is about 1 hour and 40 minutes. This I think the record is 29 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
So it's pretty significant. So if you go to speedrun.com and you'll find the any percent tab, you'll see runs of it.
If you click through a lot of it, you'll just see a lot of security.
You'll just see a lot of security hall.
Yeah.
So I'll do a couple more. Does anybody have any other questions first while I'm doing this? And then I'll go break back into story mode. 40.
Yeah, 40.
Yeah. It's a lot. There's a lot of cutscenes, stages, and bosses that you have to replace.
You could use Security Hall and Sonic for Hero Story, right? But, it doesn't... It's not a valid Hero Story method.
Yeah, so you can't... They ban it in vanilla Hero Story and Dark Story. Yeah, because otherwise it would be very silly.
Too easy for me.
And they just made
What
it its own
happens if you
separate
mess
category.
up the glitch in this? Is there a backup?
So if you collect the Chow Key normally, you could just restart the stage and the Chow Key will respawn. If you exit out, that will mess with everything. Like it'll mess with the story. So you don't want to exit out. If you die, then you just restart in the stage. Yeah, if you finish the goal ring normally though, that's when it doesn't have the warp enabled, so it will spawn you straight back into the stage. So I'll do this one more time, and I'll show you.
Yeah, like wherever you're supposed to be at that point. It will
Yeah,
take you
wherever
there.
you're supposed to be in the story.
Okay. That is
So
a good song.
this particular version of the Chowkey glitch does not work on the Dreamcast or the GameCube version. There is another version of the Chowkey glitch that you can do. It's you have to do some funky stuff with the results screen.
Too easy for
Okay.
me.
But it's a little bit trickier, more involved. It doesn't work in the same way as this one. But you can find YouTube videos of it. Yeah, so if you go past 40 times, it just loops back straight to the beginning. You can end up in, I think, City Escape, I'm pretty sure.
Oh wow! Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
because it's like a loop: hero story, dark story, last story, and then it loops back to hero story, dark story, last story. Yeah, the setup time is part of this run, the way it's timed right now.
Okay.
Here we go.
So now what happens?
Oh, sorry, I did the Chowkey version. So now I'll finish the stage. Yeah, so now I'll finish the stage normally. So I was on stage 4, Radical Highway. I lost count of how many I've done, so I don't know exactly what event I'm gonna land on, but I'm gonna land on a future event. I might land on Vanilla Security Hall. So, honestly, I don't know, which is stage 8. I might land on White Jungle. We'll see. So I'm gonna finish the stage normally. The game doesn't have that warp, so it's gonna be like, oh, you're supposed to go to the next event in the sequence.
All right. Let's see where we are.
Yeah, let's see where we are.
Oh, somebody asked about 99 lives
Too
glitch.
easy for me.
Oh yeah, I could show that off. It's a small side thing. Oh look, I landed on security. Oh, wow.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so I skipped. So those you didn't see, I skipped headquarters, stage 6, Lost Colony, Weapons Bed, the Tails fight, and oh, not the Shadow fight, but and I skipped all those cutscenes in between. So now I skipped all those stages. I don't have to play them. That's crazy that I managed to land in Vanilla Security Hall.
It's always.
Yeah, I should have counted till Faker. That's what I should have done. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been really funny. But so hopefully it makes sense. You're just replacing the event. So this is a version of sequence breaking. You probably heard sequence breaking in different games. It's crazy that it's in Sonic Adventure 2. It's one of my favorite things to show people for the first time. And yeah, that's the main bulk of stuff that you can do with the Chowkey glitch. So again, if you want to see more about it on YouTube, search up Darkspine Sonic's videos. I hope that's okay to say. For people who want to get more information about it. But yeah, that's the Chowkey glitch. Do you want me to show the 99 lives or what?
I think
what
that's
you
a pretty
feel?
quick one, right?
Yeah. Let's go to
We have the time if you do.
You can choose various settings.
how do people figure this out? It's crazy how people figure this out. When was this discovered? When the HD version came out, so probably like 7 years ago, I want to say. Somewhere around there. Yes,
Does the rank you get while getting the Chowkey correlate to stages you should get?
Yeah, it correlates to the state. So I kept getting Bs because getting I think 10,000 points in Security Hall is a B. If you
Yeah,
do that as a
Talon has a lot of really in-depth knowledge about like the point system in this game because that contributes to scoring, which also contributes to getting the 180 emblems. Like you need A rank on all missions for one of the emblems. So you have to figure out exactly how to get just enough points per level to get that A rank. And that's a combination of what, like time and.
Yeah, lots of time, practice, and routing. Routing is one of my favorite things to do in speedrun. Should I start explaining this, or any other questions?
Sure, yeah, I was just saying, like, in terms of getting A ranks, it's typically like how long it takes you to do it, plus like certain things you interact with, and a couple other elements like that. Anyway.
Okay, so this is a classic glitch. Some of you might know about it. It's the fastest way to get 99 lives, and it's a really common bug that you see, not just in video games, but just in anything. It's called an underflow glitch. So basically, you go below the default value so that it underflows or overflows to a very, very high value. So right now my lives are at 0, as you can see. I can't restart the stage because I have 0 lives. If I die, I get a game over. But if let me get a ring. Oh, I do have rings. Okay. So if I get hit, so I'm in Security Hall Mission 2. If I get hit, the game automatically spawns the back ring. So this is where, you saw the goal ring here. So it spawns this back ring. And if you get the back ring, what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to reset all the rings in the stage so that it's always possible to finish the stage. But we're going to use that in order to... okay, that's fine. We're going to use that in order to underflow our lives. So...
You're going to try to get less lives without, like, a game over, right? Like
right,
a negative, almost.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to die, and on the same set of frames where the death animation is happening, I'm going to fall into the back ring. And so the game is... actually, I'm just going to reset this. The game is going to try to take away one of my lives while restarting the stage. And so it doesn't give me the game over, but it still takes away one of my lives. So I get hit, and then I fall into the back ring, and now you see that I have a very, very high amount of lives. But for some reason, the game doesn't read this as... like, if I exit it out, it still reads this as lower than 4 lives. And when that happens, the game is supposed to, like, reset your lives to 4. So in order to keep these 99 lives, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the glitch again. So I go to essentially -2 here if I do this. That could work. So I go to -2. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a normal life.
Okay.
Wait, do I have to pick nails? I shouldn't. Hopefully I do.
Oh.
Yeah, I do. Okay.
Okay.
Precious go. I'm gonna get this life. So you see, I can't restart because the game still reads it as having under. But when I get a life,
yes.
it's going to tick up to -1, and essentially the game is going to be like, oh, I don't understand what -1 is, and so it underflows. I'm not an expert in coding, but I believe it underflows to a very, very high value, which in this case would be 99. So I'm gonna get this.
So right now it thinks you have less lives than you should be able to, but then you get that life and it's like, I don't know what to do now, so here's a lot.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, great. There you go.
That's a very, very simple way to put it. So now now I actually have 99 lives with the restart. So if I press restart now, it will have 98. And this works in any version. So Dreamcast, GameCube, PC, Xbox 360, PS3, etc., etc. So that's the 99 lives glitch.
I almost wanted to name the show Explain Like I'm 5, but I didn't want to take after the subreddit.
Right.
But it's kind of like that.
Yeah. So those are the main things I wanted to show, is the Chowkey glitch and how crazy and funky it can be, but also how it ended up like creating a new speedrun category. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, very, very cool.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying to grind because of 40 security calls, but when people seeing the run for the first time, it's always great to see their reactions to it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, this was really cool. Okay, so everybody, just as a heads up, we are not ending. We are actually going to be playing another Sonic game. It was... How soon after this game did Sonic Heroes come out? Because it's kind of in the same style.
God, I'm going to get this wrong. I want to say 2004, so 3 years after.
I count it within, like, the same generation.
Yeah,
of Sonic
yes.
Game,
Yeah, so they usually call it the Dreamcast era.
Yes. So we're staying within the Dreamcast era. But we're going to be moving on to Sonic Heroes, and you'll be doing a Team Rose speedrun. There are 3 teams in the game. From 4. I'm done. There are 4. Okay. There are 4 teams in the game, and so Talon will be doing one of those runs, and then again, we'll be doing something very similar to what we did at the beginning with the Hero Story run, where he's going to be breaking it down, and I'll probably have a lot more questions because I know that run a lot less. So before we do that, we're going to be taking a quick break, and I just want to remind you all that we have the classic Mega Man Relay featuring 3 teams, which will be racing through Mega Man 1 up through Mega Man 11. That's going to be tomorrow starting at noon Eastern. So 12 p.m. Eastern 12 p.m. Eastern tomorrow is going to be the classic Mega Man Relay from Mega Man 1 through Mega Man 11 between 3 different teams. So definitely come back and check that out on the same channel here. And don't forget as well about AGDQ 2021 Online coming up soon, January 3rd through the 10th. Prize submissions are still open now through December 26th, so get some prizes in. And we will see you all back. Oh, Chow Pitting. The best. Let's leave it here. Okay, no. We should actually take a break. And then we'll be back in just a few minutes with some Sonic Heroes. Thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. Hello, we are back once again. Very hyped to see some Sonic Heroes. Again, you are here with our very first episode of That's Never Happened Before. Hi, I'm Kungfufruitcup once again, or you can call me Fu or Fufu Kung Fu, whichever you prefer. We are here breaking down games and the glitches involved with them so we can learn more about them, the history of them, the techniques that are involved, seeing some extra fun glitches around some of these games that you may see speedruns for, cool things like that. So we are here with Talon2461. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. And so as he's getting ready to do his Team Rose run from Sonic Heroes, I just want to say Hotfix is funded, the GQ Hotfix, which you're all a part of watching right now. Hotfix is funded in part thanks to your subscription. So, please consider subscribing to support future broadcasts. Helps us out and makes all this possible. It's super cool. So, really excited for Team Rose. I'm going to be probably asking you some more questions.
That's totally fine.
I'm going to let you take it away because I'm excited for this.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so before I start the run, this is the Team Rose run. So there's 4 different teams. You have to do 14 stages, 7 bosses, so a boss after after every 2 stages. Team Rose, while it's the shortest run and it's supposed to be for the beginners in terms of when you're first playing the game, it has some really, really crazy and cool speed tech to the point where you're skipping many, many stages, as you'll see. And the general movement is also fairly I'd say it's probably more complicated than Sonic Adventure 2. So if you feel free to ask any questions about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it if I miss anything. And yeah, so I think we're good to go.
Okay, I will be following along as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Should I just start, or do you want to count down, or?
Sure, I can give you a countdown. I was just gonna say, as we start, definitely make sure to explain some of the controls with this, since you'll be switching between teammates and all of that, because this may be a new thing for our viewers as well.
Right, of course. Oh yes.
Alrighty.
Yep,
We are gonna be getting ready for a countdown. So, yeah, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, do that. Is that okay?
Alrighty. Ready to go.
Okay.
Awesome.
Countdown, or should I just go?
I will count you down. Alrighty.
Okay.
Let's start in 3, 2, 1, go.
We're up. You can count on me.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Big the cat.
Okay, so because this is supposed to be the beginner stage, you actually have to do the tutorial level first. But the tutorial level is actually one of the more intense levels because you have to mash. Oma Chow likes to stop you and talk to you throughout the entire thing. But you can mash through
the robotic child that's trying to guide you.
But you can mash through all of his text. You just have to mash very, very quickly. So just mashing the A button. So the team Sonic Heroes, for those of you who've never played this game before, you have 3 playstyles again, but it's all in one team. So you have your speed character, your power character, and your flight character. So your speed character is what allows you to kind of go fast, do homing attacks, so the stuff that you're used to. That would be Amy. That'll be Amy in this one. Your power character allows you to destroy big enemies really quickly and then break certain objects that you normally wouldn't be able to do. With your speed character, and your flight character allows you to fly across gaps that you normally wouldn't be able to cross, as well as heights that you normally wouldn't have access to, and also do like thunder shoot enemies that are in the air, so like shoot them down with your other characters, stuff like that.
Cool.
So that's the basic principle. In terms of speed tech, so the first major thing that you'll see me do is I'll do a slam. So Big the Cat has this slam ability where he's essentially like he slams the ground. If I do that slam and then switch to my speed character, so I switch with the X and Y buttons. If I switch to my speed character, it maintains that downward speed and it translates it into forward speed. So it's a very, very quick way for me to accelerate very fast. I could also do it with an umbrella cancel. So Big has this ability to glide with his paraglider. And if I do a slam and then press the A button to do a glide, I continue that speed with Big the Cat instead of Amy. Sometimes it's better to have your power character out.
Okay, so you want to, so you'll get quick momentum with him because there'll be something upcoming that he should be out for.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This isn't Security Hall. You're right.
Yeah. So one of the things that you'll see me do is I could do something called mid-air jumping. So in this game, Amy has. So I'm gonna pause, and it's not a huge glitch, but it is a glitch that you'll see fairly often. It's definitely unintended. So Amy has this attack where if you press the B button, she does this hammer twirl. It makes a very loud noise when she does it. If you do that hammer twirl off a ledge, Amy will continue off the ledge, but it allows you to do a jump out of it, which is you're not normally supposed to be able to do that when you run off an edge. Yeah, you're not normally supposed to be able to jump off a ledge like that if you fall off of it.
Okay.
So if you have a lot of speed when you're going into when you're running off a ledge and then you press the B button to do a hammer attack, you'll be able to clear gaps by doing a mid-air jump. So like this gap is normally not clearable, as you can see, going from here all the way to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
But if I charge what you call a rocket excel, so if you hold the B button, you charge a rocket excel, so your characters get behind you, and then if you let go of it, they kind of push you forwards. So if I charge this rocket excel here, it's similar to spin dashing, but it's like a team spin dash. Big stops freaking out. I'm gonna do the rocket excel, which will gain me a lot of speed. Well, I could just show what a rocket excel does. It does that kind of thing. So if I do that,
you and it throws you forward.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So if I do that off the ledge and then I press the B button at just the right time, Amy will do a hammer attack while she's with a lot of speed flying forwards, and then I could do a jump out of it, which will allow me to clear this gap. So let's give it a try.
It takes you like much further.
Yeah, just like that. So
and then you
that's
did another hammer in the air.
Right, so that's a normal thing. If you hold the A button, you can kind of float. It's similar to like Princess Peach's glide. That I just did
but
for
that
safety.
took you even further.
You can that one's intended, but you can clear that gap without doing that.
Okay.
So that's mid-air jumping. You could do that as all the teams. It's just it's very useful with Amy because she also has that hammer twirl attack, so she can clear big gaps.
Like even bigger, yeah.
Yep.
I get so it seems like there's a lot of things that's going to be mixed between the three characters, like per level. It's I'm assuming you just completely take advantage of.
Yeah. So like for example here, I switched to Big, and then I'm gonna do a slam here, and then switch to Amy, and that will give me a lot of speed right when I start.
I see that.
Yeah, then I switch to Cream. I'm going to switch to Big here, do a slam, switch to Amy. I'm going to try to charge a Rocket Excel. Sometimes your teammates don't like to get behind you. Gain a lot of speed. A lot of stuff happens really quickly. If you start explaining every single movement thing, you just constantly keep talking because of how much you have to do.
Yeah.
As opposed to Sonic Adventure 2, which is mostly just charging spin dashes and keeping your momentum.
Right. Because you're managing three characters with three different movesets.
Yeah. Rocket Excel, and then I'm going to do a slam, switch to Amy, and then do a jump.
So it seems like so far it seems like Cream, the little bunny, is mostly used for just you only bring her forward when you need to go up, and then otherwise.
Yeah, but there is something in Flight Formation that completely breaks this game, which we'll be seeing in Stage 7, which is Rail Canyon. And then I think another stage later on too.
Okay.
Um,
Because
and
I've
that-
seen the slamming with Big the Cat before, but I didn't like understand why. I'm like, it looks like you're just stopping your movement entirely when,
Right.
like you're saying, it gives you a big speed boost after.
Yeah, it's very, very fast acceleration, which is important in this game.
Yeah. It's
So
like
here I'm gonna-
it's like prepping a spin dash, like you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. So like here is an example when I'm opening doors, or like opening those power doors, you have to hit it with big twice. So it's an example of when I do a slam with big and I want to stay as big because I need to hit the door again. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So here I'm gonna hit the door and then I cancel so that I'm staying as big. So I just slowed that down. And then I'm gonna do it again and this time switch to Amy.
Okay.
Okay. Fly. Right up here.
Well, we just skipped something. Okay. What would you say is like a ratio of just like maybe minor and major skips in this as opposed to like actual glitches?
Oh, that's...
I think there's a lot of both, but
There's quite a lot of big glitches, but it's the biggest glitch that you'll see is one called bot boosting, and it's a lot of it is a repeat of that bot boosting glitch. The other big glitch that you'll see here is it's about to come up, and this is one of my favorite glitches in like all of video games because of how silly it looks, and you've probably seen this before going through as well.
yeah.
But this is called power flying. So I'm going to pause here while I explain this. So similar, for those of you who watch the Sonic Adventure 2 stuff, similar to how you can skew your gravity in Sonic Adventure 2 by going on slopes, it does the same thing here in Sonic Heroes. So if I go around this loop, it will change my gravity. What that means is when I do a slam as Big the Cat, instead of slamming downwards, if I have the skewed gravity, it's going to slam me it's going to slam me sideways or upwards, depending on where the gravity is pointing. So I'm going to go around the loop, and then when I'm horizontal, I'm going to jump off, and then I'm going to do a slam. I'm going to move my characters out of the way by shooting them off, and then I'm going to do a slam. It's going to slam me sideways. Now, if I slam sideways, this is where the things get crazy. So I'll slam sideways, and then out of a slam you can cancel. So just like how I was canceling on the floor, you can cancel out of a slam by pressing the A button. And then after you cancel out of a slam, you can do another slam, which means that Big will do another slam and you can cancel out of that slam, and then you can do another slam. And the crazy thing is, it doesn't reset your gravity. So when you combine, if you do it fast enough, so when you combine all of that together, you get this. Let me see if I can do it.
I see.
And this is called power flying.
It reminds me of single fire cancels in Kirby 64.
Yeah, it's very, it's very similar to that. Yeah, it's just funky because you're not supposed to be able to fly as the power character, but you can.
Forever.
Yeah, forever. As long as you slam fast enough, the game will not correct your gravity. If you hold it for too long like this, the game will want to correct your gravity like that.
That's fantastic. Very cool. That actually made a lot of sense to me.
Cool. Okay.
I just knew we could do it.
That was really cool. This feels canon.
So there are other stages where I'll be doing that same power flying thing, but there won't be for a little while. And then there are other big glitches too. But there are a lot of minor things as well. I say it's a good mix. It's probably more minor than major. It's just a repeat of that one major glitch called bot boosting, which we'll talk about later.
Sure. Do you know if this was made in the same engine as Sonic Adventure 2?
Sonic Adventure 2? I believe it was, yeah.
Okay.
I believe it was.
You're saying they had a similar gravity system? I was thinking it might have
Yeah, I think so. I don't know too much about it, but I think so.
Okay.
So for this boss, the rubber banding in this game is kind of very broken. So if I move backwards, Eggman moves backwards with me. I grab the invincibility and I just walk into him while firing with Big the Cat, and he just loses 100 health. Very, very
Oh my
quickly.
goodness. Somebody was wondering the flying that you just did. How much time does that save in that level?
So that one, in that specific level, it only saves about 5 seconds because the stage kind of has these ramps that send you really fast. But it does save a little bit of time. In future stages, it saves a lot more.
Okay, so we'll be seeing that again a number of times.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. This stage is fairly vanilla overall, nothing major. There is one instance of a mid-air jump, but it's a lot of just general movement.
Okay.
No doubt about it. My heart is never wrong. Then it must be so. What a huge.
I personally find Cream super adorable.
Cream is probably my favorite Sonic character.
She's so cute.
Yeah, she's great, and she's a good
Obviously, I
chow
like
mom.
the bunny.
Yeah.
Yeah, likes
This one-
cows and is a bunny.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a cancel big. Oh, gotta do a rocket excel. So here's the mid-air jump. I want to go under this fence.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So that time, if you press the B button and you hold it for too long, the game will think that you want to do a rocket excel and you'll roll instead of doing the hammer attack.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so that's a big reset point. You have to get the timing very specific.
Okay.
Try again.
You want to go under it?
There we go.
Ah, I see.
Just like
Okay.
that, yeah. So that's a mid-air jump. The big here, so I could slam into Amy. Oh, here's another small skip coming up. So this is called bridge skip. So there's a bridge that's raised in this next section. And normally you have to destroy the enemies in order for it to fall. But what I could do is I could gain a lot of speed by doing a rocket excel. So do a rocket excel here. And then, missed the jump. Might not work. Okay. Try again.
As a refresher, the Rocket Excel is the thing where you get your characters to push you forward, and then you use the hammer, and then you jump.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you don't have to use the hammer. The rocket excel is you just hold B and then let go of it.
Oh, okay.
To gain a lot of speed. So use that rocket excel to gain a lot of speed. I'm going to start a flight here, and then I can just about squeeze through the collision.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so I can get under the bridge. Can hammer twirl across this.
Small, like little.
Yeah, the game has a lot
Like
of
areas.
small little things in it too. Rocket excel. Go out of that.
So when do you say Rocket Excel versus just the big slam and then over to Amy?
So the rocket excel gives you a higher max speed. So usually if it's like bigger distances, you want to do a rocket excel.
Okay.
But if it's like a little small distance that you want to travel, you want to do a slam.
Because it's faster to set up.
Yeah. So the slam is faster than setting up a rocket excel because you just
Okay.
jump and then you press B, as opposed to because you have to wait for your characters to get behind you. For the rocket excel, and the AI in this game is not flawless, so sometimes they can take a while to get all the way behind you.
Makes sense. Okay.
Grinding in this game, you'll notice that it's actually faster to switch characters back and forth like this, which can get kind of obnoxious, but it accelerates you faster. You know, sometimes it's not faster to always do it. Sometimes you just want to hold the grind button if you're
No, that's
going downhill. But to accelerate fast, you want to switch back and forth between the two.
Right. I love that.
Yeah, again, the ranks are not just based on time; they're also based on score and some other things.
Okay. Gotcha. So what's the next thing coming up here? Like it's I don't have as much of a grasp on this game.
Oh, okay. So power plant. There's nothing made. Most of the crazy stuff happens in the second half of the run.
Okay. How many
yeah.
stages are there total for this run?
So there's 14. But for Team Rose, they're fairly short. This is called elevator skip. Let's see if I get it. Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Oh, wow.
So normally that would be an auto scroller. Let me explain. Normally that would be an auto scroller. You have to wait for the elevator to go all the way up. But there are those like little accelerating hoop things. If you thunder shoot, so with cream, if you attack with cream, as you're going through the hoop itself, you can start another flight, which you're not normally supposed to be able to do. So you can gain a lot of vertical height. And if you do it just right, you can get into the second hoop. And then if you do it just right again, you're just about able to clear enough height to get the elevator skip. But your timing has to be very, very, very good for that to happen.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Somebody asked, can you explain the team blast glitch thingy you did?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even... it's so second nature to me that I forget that that's a glitch. Yes, I will do that in a second. Let me make sure I get through the stage. So yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that either, actually.
Yeah, I apologize. So the Team Blast glitch, if you're as your flying character, so if you're as Cream, and you try to thunder shoot and switch characters on the exact same frame, the game does this weird thing where it like doesn't know if you're supposed to thunder shoot or not, and so it tries to switch characters and thunder shoot at the same time, and you get this weird little glitch effect where it constantly thunder shoots, which makes
and what is thunder shoot? What does that do in the game?
That's Cream's attack. Sorry, when I say thunder shoot,
Okay.
that's if you press the B button as Cream,
Okay.
it shoots one of the characters.
Just for clarification. Perfect.
Yeah, and that builds your Team Blast. Let me see if I can get this. It builds your Team Blast up very, very quickly. So it's a very, very quick way to get Team Blast. Okay. I'm trying to do an AI manipulation, but Sonic sometimes likes to light dash instead.
Okay.
Let's see.
What are you trying to get him to do?
So I'm trying to get him to jump. If he jumps at just the right time, he could jump off the stage.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. But this is like a... he doesn't want to do it. Okay. Otherwise, this team fight is really, really annoying.
I'll let you finish.
Knuckles, can you chill? Please. Come on. Okay.
Stubborn bunch.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. So the AI you can kind of manipulate in one of the team fights. This team fight is one of the worst ones because if they don't fall for the AI manipulation, they're very hard to kill because of all the obstacles and because Knuckles likes to do crazy stuff.
Gotcha. Somebody was asking for a recommendation for running this game. Which team would you recommend?
See, that's very tough because nowadays, because of all the tech, all the teams could be very difficult. I would say Team Rose is probably the easiest in terms of like vanilla stages. So that's probably the one I'd say to introduce to people, but you don't have to do all the big major glitches that I'm doing here. You can just run through the stages semi-normally and try to implement some of the glitches here and there. That's probably what I would recommend to people.
Makes sense.
So there is a glitch coming up towards the end of the stage. So this is Casino Park. It's like a casino level. Pinball table physics are not very fun, so I want to minimize the time I spend on the pinball tables.
Okay.
But they do allow me to do some crazy things. So the pinball tables change my physics that the characters normally have, and they allow me to do something called pinball table launching. So let me go over here first, and then I'll pause to talk about this glitch
You
here.
skipped a couple of those tubes, it looks like.
Yeah. So if I switch to my flight character as soon as I do the gong, I can skip some of the tubes.
Nice.
Okay, so this is gonna be a glitch coming up. The goal ring is right behind this pinball table. It's like slightly further back. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do a big, I'm gonna do a big slam, and then cancel it as big so I gain a lot of speed, and then switch to cream, and then try to do a jump and fly towards the right side of the table. So that sounds very
you're going from
complicated.
Big
But
to
basi-
cream instead of to Amy.
Yeah, because I wanna be able to start a flight. And if you see
Okay.
that big arrow in the background, I'm aiming
Yeah.
slightly to the right of there, and I wanna like fly and hover for a second.
You want to very quickly fly over there, and slamming as big will help you do that.
Yeah, so I can get
Okay.
enough speed to get there. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna thunder shoot. So the thunder shoot is this, it's the attack. I'm gonna thunder shoot my characters onto the pinball table, and then they'll kind of fly off it because the pinball table is at like an angle, it's like sloped.
Okay.
So when I do that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna thunder shoot the characters. They're gonna go flying off the table, and then I'm gonna land on the pinball table, and that's gonna change the physics of the characters mid-air. And if I do it correctly, I can change the character's trajectory and kind
Okay.
of push big to the end of the level. So it sounds complicated,
Through
but
the table?
no, he's gonna go over the table. So I'm gonna thunder shoot him. He's gonna go over the table. I land on the pinball table, and then he should be able to kind of just roll through the air. You'll see what I mean if I do
Okay,
it
great.
properly.
Okay.
So here, I'm gonna do this cream, and then I'm gonna thunder shoot,
Throw the
and then
character.
Big's gonna fly. Oh, okay, I just missed it. That's okay.
Okay.
We'll try it again. But so you kind of see the idea that I had for that. Try that again.
Okay. You can come back and set up.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back and set up.
Cool.
So that time I didn't get, I landed on the table a little bit too late, so Big changed his trajectory in a slightly different way. So I'm gonna try again.
Throw big.
That's better, that's
goes
better.
over the table.
Yeah,
then you
switch to
switch to
big.
him.
Yeah, and now I'm at the end of the stage.
Okay, the way he went over it. Cool.
Yeah. So
Cool.
yeah, so it's something called pinball table launching. You land on the pinball table when your other characters are midair, and you're able to kind of move and manipulate them to skip certain parts of the stage.
Do you know anyone who's been involved in like kind of exploring this tech and developing it to what it is?
Darkspine Sonic again is the main
Yeah.
one.
He's done a lot,
He's done a lot of crazy stuff with heroes. And then the main number one runner of this game, I'd say, is a guy called Deku_SR. He's very, very good at the game. He holds almost all the records at the moment. He's done a lot of major glitch hunting for certain glitch locations for the big glitch called pop boosting.
Okay. Oh, right.
But there's a decent sized community. So there are people like Critical Sid, you might have heard of, who's done a lot of experimentation, and then there's a guy called G Pro who's done some stuff too.
Very cool.
But yeah, I'd say Darkspine Sonic is the main one in terms of all the crazy big stuff.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Okay, so here comes the first big level skip. And this one is kind of crazy, and again involves gravity manipulation. So I'm going to pause here while I do this. So first things first is I'm going to throw this on you, and then I'm going to do the Team Blast glitch. So like as I said before, I'm going to Thunder Shoot and switch characters in the same frame. So like this. So build up a lot of the bar to get Team Blast. Now, when you do a Team Blast as Team Rose's Team Blast is very overpowered. It gives a level up, so your characters go from level 0 to level 3. It gives a level up for each character, which makes them
Does it
strong.
make you stronger? Okay.
Yeah, so it makes you stronger, you can defeat enemies faster, and you do some different things with your attacks. So it gives a level up for each character. It also gives them a shield, and it gives them an invincibility, and it gives them speed shoot. And the speed, yeah, because it's like the beginner team, so they're very kind about it. But the important thing for this glitch is the speed shoot. So the speed shoot increases your speed value. And if you remember me saying with the gravity manipulation, the higher your speed value, the less likely it is to change your gravity, to like reset your gravity.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Because you're going so fast in one direction, like.
Right. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do here is there's a little. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a little incline up the backside of this table. I'm going to.
Yeah, it's sloping in a little.
Yeah.
I
So I'm
see.
gonna.
Okay.
I'm going to do the Team Blast, and then I'm gonna slam as big switch, do a cancel, and then switch to cream. And if I do it correctly off the slope, I'll have this skewed gravity.
It's gonna go up at that same angle.
Yeah, so it's gonna be,
Okay.
it's gonna look, it's gonna like probably like on a clock face, it'll probably be like 2 o'clock. I don't know. You'll see when it happens, but it'll be very skewed and it'll be going off into a certain direction. I'm gonna try to avoid kill planes, and it's very similar to the final rush skip that you might have seen earlier. I'm gonna try to fall towards the goal ring. However, this one is a bit more tricky and it's very easy for my gravity to be reset here. So it could take a couple tries. Hopefully I get it first try. But as soon as my speed shoes run out, that's when the gravity really wants to reset. So let's give this a try.
Okay.
Team Blast?
Oh, that's that. Okay.
Alright, and see, I have my skewed gravity. I kind of want to go a little bit this.
I see it's going off up into the side. Okay.
Now I want to branch off to the side. So my speed shoes get reset about here. Okay. So I have a small visual cue. There's like a little line that I want Big's feet to touch. So I'm looking for 2 things. I'm looking for a purple chip and a blue chip. Ideally, I want to see just the blue chip. That's perfect. So you see that blue chip in the bottom left?
Yeah.
Then I should be seeing the stage momentarily. There you
go.
Good. Yeah.
That's
That's the end of the stage. Yeah. So now I want to reset my gravity by just holding up. So my gravity is reset and I'm falling normally. Hopefully I fall above all the kill planes. This thing doesn't have collision going through the ceiling. So I'm just going to go straight through the ceiling.
And there it
Keep
is.
going.
Awesome. Yeah, that reminded me a little bit of how you have to like move once you're already in the air for like final rush.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to change to avoid the kill planes. You need to change your trajectory.
Right. Has to be the same engine.
Is this live? Yes, this is live.
Yes, this is live.
What's the blue chip is a visual cue, so it tells me how high I am and if my angle was correct. If I don't see the blue chip but I see the purple chip, I need to adjust my angle. Otherwise, I'll end up hitting a kill plane or I won't make it to the goal ring.
Are all these glitches doable on GameCube?
Yes. This is doable on every version, I believe.
You're playing on the Wii at the moment, right?
Yeah, so I'm using my Wii, which has backwards compatibility to the GameCube.
Right. But you're playing on a GameCube disc just through the Wii.
Yes.
Right, there you go. So yeah, he's
Okay, so these are like the
GameCube version.
this is like the wave mode of the wave mode boss fight. Some people like these, some people hate these.
What about you?
I really like wave mode stuff, so I really like it, but I know a lot of people aren't huge fans of it. I'm looking for cream level ups. Yeah.
How do you know if they have one?
So the cream level up will be like a little yellow orb. Every 5 enemies you destroy gives a random level up between the 2. It's really weird. It's a random level up between the 2 characters that aren't your leader. So like if I destroy the 5th enemy as Big the Cat, there's a 50-50 chance that
For Amy or Cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't know why they did it like that. It's probably to make sure that the characters get spread out in terms of usage. The only thing I
Gotcha.
can really think of.
Right now you have
So right now I have level
Amy's
2.
all up, but Cream is
Yeah. Right now I have level 2 cream, and that was the main thing that I wanted, and then level 1 big so that I could just destroy all these enemies in a circle.
That's awesome.
Don't get too excited, boys. Those were the easy ones. Woohoo!
Yeah, so the PC version of this game is very different to the GameCube version. It's run it's like on an earlier build of the game, so the physics feel very different. I think with the speed characters, if you just constantly keep pressing the B button, you can't get hit, I think, if I remember that correctly. I don't. Yeah, so there's a lot of physics differences between the 2 versions. So on the speedrun, if you go to the speedrun leaderboards, you'll see that they've split the categories between PC version and then console version.
Yeah, it makes sense when you have enough like big changes like that between the 2. And you just run this on GameCube.
Yes, so I run the GameCube
Right.
version. So you can also do the Xbox version, and you can do the PS2 version, but I wouldn't recommend the PS2 version.
Yeah. Is it just slow?
It's 30 FPS. There's sound issues. There's input lag. I don't know what they did with the port, but it's kind of people
That's
don't
a bummer.
recommend it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
so
fair.
here is another big glitch, and this is the main one that you'll see in Sonic Heroes runs. So if you ever see Sonic Heroes runs, this is the kind of one where you that's like the main focus. And this one's pretty involved. So there's a lot I have to talk about here.
Okay. Teach
So
me.
okay, cool. So the aim here is I'm going to be doing something called bop boosting. So when I say bop, it's kind of like getting hit. Bop boosting.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So you see how I'm in flight formation. I have Cream, Amy, and Big in the totem pole. Totem pole. What I want to do is I want to hit Amy out of this totem pole. And on this, I think it's the same frame or same couple frames when I touch the floor. And the way to do that is I need to kind of fall into the enemy, like lean into the enemy, at just the right amount. So it's gonna be something. Let me try to trigger it so you can see. So I'm trying to hit Amy out of the pole. Kind of a weird position. The enemy. There you go. Okay, so I've hit Amy out of the pole. I paused the game, so you can see that it's just Big and Cream. But I did it on the same.
Why wasn't Big taking damage?
So what I do is I take damage quickly as Big, and I use those invincibility frames to lean in and hit Amy, if that makes sense.
Okay, but you're not losing any rings or anything.
No, because Cream is the leader, so only the leader will cause me to lose rings. If the AI gets hit.
Okay. I see what I see.
So the important thing is that Amy has been hit out of the flight formation, but the game, because I had landed on the same frame, the game thinks that Amy is supposed to be part of the flight formation. So like it's confused the game. So if I try to start a flight, the game is going to be like, oh, you should be next to Amy, even though Amy is like taking damage on the floor somewhere over to the left of me at the moment. So if I try to start a flight, the game will be like, oh, you should be next to Amy, and warps me over to where Amy is, even if I'm very far away. So like I'm gonna move away and I'm gonna start a flight, and you see I get pushed really quickly back to Amy.
Okay.
If you saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not an immediate warp. It's you actually get sent very, very, very fast towards Amy. And we're gonna make use of that speed. So basically, it pushes you towards Amy, but if you separate yourself with a wall between Amy and Cream and Big, so there's like you have Cream and Big, and then you have a wall, and then you have Amy. The game will try to fling you towards Amy. It hits the wall, and then it rebounds you. It's like a really, really fast rebound.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Like in the opposite direction to where Amy is. And if you do it correctly, you can get a huge amount of distance, and that's how this trick is going to work. So I'm going to try to hit Amy again.
That actually makes sense to me. You're pushing Amy out, she's gonna fling in a direction, and you're gonna try to follow it, but when you hit the collision in a wall, it's gonna be like, I can't, so it just flings you the other way.
Yeah, exactly. So it tried to push me back to Amy, I hit the wall, and the game rebounds me into this part of the stage. And if you aim it correctly, you can go very, very, very fast.
Right on the rail. So how much of the level did that just get?
Probably about 40, 50 seconds, I want to say. It's a lot. And so it's called bop boosting, and you can do it in many different locations. Once you have specific enemies and you're able to have a wall that aims in a very specific way, you can skip huge portions of levels. And there's many different setups of it. And you'll see another setup of it later on in the second last stage called Egg Fleet. You'll be able to see how it works. So we're just going to forward. This is the end of the stage now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome.
So the bot boost skips a big chunk. So a big portion of the recent discoveries in this game are finding those locations of where you can bot boost and where it can send you, if that makes sense.
Cool. Yeah. This is really cool.
Cool. Yeah. So this is every stage, almost every stage from now on is gonna just be insanely broken. And this one here, Bullet Station, is my favorite. It's it's nothing new. We're gonna be doing the power flying thing again, but it's gonna look kind of strange as you'll see.
Oh yeah, yes. This one I have seen.
Have you seen it before?
Yes,
Okay, cool. Yeah.
it's
So
really
you see-
intense.
Yeah, so you see how I have this incline here? So I'm going to use this incline, jump off, and then I'm going to fly backwards, back to the start for some reason. You might wonder why. So just wait. So my angle here is a little high, so I could adjust it by doing an umbrella cancel by pressing the A button. I just have to be very careful not to adjust it too much so that the gravity points downwards.
Okay.
But it looks like I'm
and
just
Big
going
is
into
kind of like
nothing.
flipping in different directions.
That's me.
And that
That's
is-
me controlling the angle to make sure
Yeah.
that I'm flying in the correct way. But you'll
Okay.
see that there's a train over here, and you're like, what? There's a train over here? This is actually the train that leads to the end of the level. And here we are.
Fighting back there.
Yeah. Because the level
Right.
is just one big... Oh my god. The level is just one big loop. So
That's
if you go
awesome.
backwards, you just end up to where the train is.
Somebody wants to know, by the way, do you think this is the most glitchy Sonic game? I know there's some glitches in some of them. I know, there's a lot.
Yeah. I wouldn't say so. It's one of the most. But I'd say that probably goes to Sonic 06, I want to say.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But a lot of them are just completely broken. Sonic Adventure 1 is completely broken. Sonic Boom
Yes.
is completely broken.
Yes.
A lot of the 2D Sonic games are just completely broken too.
Yeah.
Something
Somebody also wants to know, Cap wants to know, are these flights hard to aim?
It's kind of hard to get the correct incline to skew your gravity. Because if you get the wrong gravity, then you have to do an umbrella cancel to skew it in the correct way.
Okay.
But usually,
Once
if you try to aim higher than you're supposed to go, it's a lot easier to correct than if you try to aim too low. So that's why I usually try to aim too high. I aim higher than normal.
Okay.
Hopefully that makes sense.
Yes. Once you're like in the air though, at the right angle, like it's keeping that control. How is that? Like, is it pretty easy?
Yeah, that's
Keep
pretty.
control of
That's
the
pretty
direction.
straightforward. As long as you have good timing with your slams, the game won't correct your gravity. And yeah, you do have to fiddle around with the control stick, and you have to make sure you're able to separate your hands so that your right hand is solely just doing the button presses while your left hand is aiming the control stick.
Right.
I have to find Froggy.
Also, yeah. So, I can't say words right now. Talon has been mentioning Darkspine Sonic a lot. Who's done a lot of work on glitches in Sonic games, and he completely broke Sonic Boom. Yes, it's a very glitchy game.
Yes, he broke Sonic Boom. He also broke Sonic 06 too. He's done
Yes.
he's done a lot of Sonic game breaking stuff.
Yeah.
Such a great dude. So Frog Forest, we're gonna do the same power flying thing.
You all ready? Chocola.
So as soon as we go around this loop, jump off. Oh, I jumped off a little too soon.
We're doing the same thing we just saw in the last level with Big flying through the air.
Yes. So as I said, you can, like for those of you who missed it from Ocean Palace earlier, you can do a slam with skewed gravity, and you can cancel out of it, and you can chain those together over and over. Once you do that, you keep that gravity vector in a very weird angle, and you can fly.
Can you do something like this with the other teams?
So, oh yeah, that's a good point. You can do
They all
this
have the
as
same like.
you can do this as Vector with Team Chaotix, but you can't do this as Knuckles or Omega, so Team Sonic and Team Dark, because they don't have that feature that allows you to slam. Instead, they do this fire dunk thing instead.
Okay, I got you. So like Talon was saying earlier, the dynamic of all four of the teams are one is a speed character, one is a full flying character, and one is a power
Yeah.
character. Is that-
Yes,
Yeah.
that is correct.
Isn't there a sky kill box?
Not for
Is there
this
like
stage.
a death line in the?
Not for this stage, no. Thankfully. Otherwise, it would be a lot more scary.
Yeah.
You could go all the way to the end.
That was the whole level.
Okay, so this level is really funny because I actually have to use my chin, and that's because the camera gets locked unless I use the C stick. But I have my hands full doing the power flying, like one hand on the control stick, one hand on the buttons. So I need to use my chin in order to move the camera. And so this could be.
Is that what other people usually do, or is that just your?
That's what DSS does. So I adopted it and I've gotten used to it. You could probably try to use your little finger, but I find my chin easier to use.
Yeah, like another limb.
Yeah, this is also, it's one of the harder power flights.
So we're doing it's the same thing again with big.
Yes.
You've got to, are you jumping off that at the right? Yeah, okay. I'm saving my reaction for the end. Check out that focus. Oh my gosh, this camera though. My goodness.
Where am I? Okay.
Okay.
I'm good.
I was trying so hard not to laugh.
I know, it looks so silly, but
It's not just that your chin was on the controller, it's the expression that it forced you to make. It was like wide-eyed, like, ooh, that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, so DSS has run this category at AGDQ 2015, and he had to do it for that too, and it was
so funny.
Yeah, it was really fun. So if you don't do that, the camera gets locked into the outer position at the start of the stage, and you can't see anything.
Yeah, you
so
don't know where you are at all.
You have to keep your chin on the controls. You have to keep inputting on the control stick.
Not that it was like a great camera angle after that, because it keeps trying to
Right,
move,
yeah, but at least you can see kind of where you're going.
Sort of, right.
Major misunderstanding here, but we can't
See.
back down now.
So this fight is very simple.
But it won't be so easy.
Oh,
from here
okay.
on.
I guess that was
That's it. Yeah, the tornado hammer is very overpowered, and there's nothing behind it.
That was almost as fast as the levels.
Sorry, but there's no time for this.
You noticed that the estimate has been changed to chin pits?
These are some of the best estimates I've ever seen in games. I don't know if you all have missed it, but in Sonic Adventure 2, we had a security hall estimate. We had a glitches estimate, and then some other glitches that didn't make any sense estimates. You said there were big glitches, so it changed to a big glitches estimate. How long is Chin puts in seconds? You know what? You just have to watch the run.
We can do
You missed it. Yeah, you looked away and he was done. Yeah, so that's been like a really cool thing to see about this run specifically. This has more like huge level skips than anything that I'm used to seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and we're not done yet. So
Yeah.
So this is called door clipping, and you could do this in a few different walls and doors. But essentially, when you build up enough speed, you can and I try to roll here. You can see that I'm kind of going to the door, but I'm not fully all the way through. But I'm getting pushed past slightly past the first collision of the door. But what I can do is when I hit that door, so if I'm rocket excelling and I hit the door, if I switch to my flight character, if I do it at the right time, I could just about squeeze my hitbox through the door. But you have to time it. You have to have a lot of speed, and you have to time it very well. So I'm going to charge a rocket excel. I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to switch to my
make you really fast. Okay.
Yeah, so it's just like this. A bit further back. That was close. There we go. So I squeeze straight through the door.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it that side of the door specifically, or could it?
You could do it from the other side of the door too. It's any of the doors or walls that have thinner collision, I guess.
Okay, I see.
Or here.
These maps seem like they're often so open that that's why you don't have to worry about as many kill planes or
Yeah, exactly. So it's just as you were saying, this map is so open that if I fall here, it's kind of like the end of the stage. Yeah,
Was
good.
that
Well, you're
supposed
supposed
to have some gravity changes?
Yeah, so you're supposed to go all the way around, and then go down, and then it's supposed to be a platform that sends you up to the goal ring. But you could just fall there. And you fall into the goal
I
ring.
just knew we
Gotcha.
could do it.
This is great.
Nice. So Mystic Mansion, which is the next one, this is the only one in the next few stages that doesn't have any big skips. Fairly vanilla.
So what do you think, like, out of all of these different types of like the movement tech, like the bop
But boosting?
bop boosting, or like the flying or anything like that, what is the hardest one that you would say to pick up? For those
Bot
who are trying to learn
boosting,
how to do
because
it.
it's very unnatural. Because you have to kind of lean with the character in a very specific way. And then after that, you only have like 2 seconds of invincibility for it to trigger it from the wall. So you have to move really quickly, and you're already in a kind of awkward position. So it took me a while to get used to doing it, especially with Big the cat, because Big is so big. Like his hitbox.
That makes sense.
Yeah, his hitbox is so big, it's really hard to hit Amy out of that formation.
Yeah, I got you. So yeah, it has to be like at the right height, and this looks like it's less skippable because they're actual walls.
Yeah.
Or like it's more linear. Yeah.
Am I playing? And no, it's just cold. I'm cold. I apologize. I don't want my hands to... For those of you who've done speedruns before, I know a lot of people have been asking this, but I'm wearing my coat and scarf because having cold hands as a speedrunner is the worst thing that you want. Because you want to be able to have that dexterity to move your fingers around. So I'm making sure that I stay warm by having my coat and scarf on. That's all it is.
He's streaming late from the middle of the night.
Yeah,
Across the sea.
Yeah, I'm in the UK, so it's 3:30 in the morning for me at the moment. So it's very cold.
I'm sure. Big is big, exactly. All right, so what's the next big thing we have coming up?
Well, then the next big skip is the next stage, which will be Egg Fleet. This is the next or the last wave fight. So lots of enemies. I'm gonna be doing the Team Blast glitch here right at the start, to get the Team Blast.
Right.
Oh. So it's a frame perfect trick, which is why sometimes I miss it.
Okay. So can you
Okay,
explain how that
level up.
works again while you're fighting the enemy?
Yeah. So you thunder shoot and you switch characters at the same time, and the game thinks that you're supposed to just, the game doesn't know whether to thunder shoot or not, or switch characters.
Oh, right.
So
That's right.
Yeah. So it just keeps thunder shooting over and over again, and it builds up a lot of your Team Blast meter.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's just, there's like a lot of, the terms we're all describing, like, they all make sense when you break them down. But I feel like it's hard for a first timer to hear all the terms for the different, like boost, like the different types of boosting, like pop boosting, and then the rocket. I'm just having trouble going back and remembering what they're called.
Of course, yeah. That's why it's good that you're here
attribute.
to help explain.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
of course, Moshi. One of my favorite. I love explaining things to people, whether it be things that I've learned in school, or like speedrunning, or like I do powerlifting, so I love explaining that to people. But main thing is speedrunning, and that's why I love streaming, because I just get to explain the speedrunning glitches to an audience, and they're interested in it. So
Another reason
like
why I
this
thought he'd be a great first guest, because I knew you would have a lot of fun.
Yeah, so this is really, really fun. Like, it's 3:30, I'm not even slightly tired because I'm just doing something that I love, and I'm just talking about it to some awesome people in chat.
Mm-hmm. You said, okay, so stage 13, you said they're 14, right? So we're almost done.
Yeah, 14, so almost done, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So Egg Fleet has a bot boost in it. So that same thing that we did in Rail Canyon, we're gonna hit Amy out of the flight formation.
And then try to go to her.
Well, we're gonna go away from her and separate her from the wall.
Right, you try to go to her, and the wall pushes you away from her.
Yeah, so we go away from her, and then separate ourselves with a wall, and then when we start the flight, the game will try to push me towards her, but instead it ricochets me because the wall is in the way.
Okay.
this is one of the hardest ones to do in the run. So
she'll just stay wherever she gets knocked out, so you have time to move.
yes, exactly. Yeah, and you have about
Around the wall.
2 seconds of invincibility frames for Amy, and that's
Right,
how long
okay.
that's how long you have that state for.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm excited to see. So that's pop
Yeah.
boosting, and then
This is a
What's the-
big one.
the term for flying is just
Power flying.
power flying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm actually gonna pause those. Pause. Drop. Oh, it's a little too fast. So I need to time
You
this
almost got it.
really well.
So you're going up in the air, and so that when it hits
So you
the
see
ground,
that you see that bullet?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it
That's
to get
gonna
to the
ex-
bottom of my screen, and then that's when I unpause and I drop. And if I do it just the right time, Amy should get hit on the same frames that I
Perfect.
land on the floor, and that should trigger the bot boost state. And then I want to move forwards and use the wall that's behind the cannon, and that should hopefully fling me.
Oh, okay. I see. Cool. And it'll fling you forward.
Yeah. So here I'm
Oh,
flying
oh.
very fast, so I need to pause buffer this. Oh, I think I went too far. That's why I need to pause. That's why I need to pause buffer it. But I was talking, so I messed up my pauses.
Holy moly.
Yeah. So I went to that. That's how fast you go.
Where's the end?
Yeah.
Is it right?
The end,
there?
yeah, I went past the end. Yeah.
So close.
Very close. But you go so fast. Like that this stage is really big, and you go
Right.
you fly straight through all of it, and you can get to the end.
Is there anything else within this game that you think you'd want to show off after as well? Because we didn't talk about this one as much. I didn't know if there were anything. Seems like most of these are more related to the actual run itself.
Yeah, there's quite a few things, but they're more related to like other runs rather than just showing it off to yourself. So like
Yeah.
there's big skips as
Like
Team
the-
Sonic and Team Dark that are exclusive
Right, the
to
other
them.
categories.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything like fun from this one. I'm just interested in seeing this one.
Started my flight a little too early, so the game pushed me back to Amy. Too early again.
It's really specific.
Yeah, you have to do it fast enough where you trigger the bot boost, but not too fast, otherwise you get pushed back to Amy. There you go.
Oh my gosh, that
Pausing.
happened so quickly.
That should work. So if you thunder shoot during the bot boost, it stops it. So that's what I was trying to do.
Oh,
Pause
okay.
and
I was
thunder
wondering,
shoot
like,
just the right time. I'm using the ships as like a base of where I am.
okay,
And-
great. I was wondering if
yeah.
you know how far to go.
Yeah. So I was looking at the ships in the background, and then here we are.
Nice, awesome. So we only have one more level to go, right?
Yeah, one more level and then one more boss fight.
Awesome.
And that should be it.
This has been so fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and I hope you guys have been enjoying it. I know it's not like super fast paced because I'm stopping and slowing down, but I hope you've been enjoying the glitch explanations and how things work.
Yeah, but people people who've been here for this long for the show have definitely already realized that, and I'm sure we'll also continue to understand that in the future. It's not about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about it's about showing off how these things work to aid in the speed of the run. Like we're not trying to. Yeah, we're not going for world records. We're trying to explain everything for you all.
Right. Yeah.
Or you're trying to explain it for me and the chat. I'm also like a viewer right here.
So you could do a small power flight there if you get the correct angle, but sometimes Big just hits it instead. But that's okay. There's a big power flight coming up
Okay.
later part of the stage.
And is that like the last big thing that happens here, or do you
Yeah.
have more?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the last big thing.
Okay. One more power flight. So that's like just seeing Big just fly through the air.
Yep. This was the first place it was discovered, I believe, actually.
Oh, that's really cool to know.
There you go. Just because it puts you at the right angle where you could just slam straight away. when you go up
Yeah,
that
going
half
up that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the top of this wall doesn't have any collision, but the front of it does. So I want to make sure I'm high enough so that I could just fall through here.
Oh, so you don't hit the top. Okay, I see what's
Yeah.
happening.
And then I want to go off to the left and land on those rails.
So you're not taking it all the way to the end this time.
No, it's faster to land on the rails here.
Okay, right, because you said like rails are always pretty quick.
Yeah, rails, the grinding speed is very, very fast. It's just like Froggy. Yeah. Completely ignores the question.
Uh-huh. That sounds about right. This is really cool to learn about as well. Again, like, this is something that I was less familiar with, so it's cool to see the tech. Now, I feel like by the end of the run, I'm closer to understanding everything. You did a great job explaining. It's just, I mean, it's like this is definitely, there's so much
it's
tech
a lot.
that goes into
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
It's a lot
absolutely.
of information. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll find that with a lot of runs that are glitch heavy, when someone talks about everything that they're doing, like if you ever do Ocarina of Time for this segment, there's so much that goes on Ocarina of Time.
Right.
That if you're just watching, you won't even realize what's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, so okay. So let's say between this and Sonic Adventure 2, this game and that one, which one do you think is an easier run to learn first? I feel like it
Sonic
was
Adventure
FA2.
Hero Story, I'd say, is easier.
Yeah.
But less big glitches, less tech heavy overall.
Right.
Once you get used to the physics. The only thing about Sonic Adventure 2 is a lot of memorization for the hints. Other than that, I'd say it's easier.
Okay.
I just realized that
yeah,
there is another glitch here, but I'm so used to it that I forgot that it's actually a glitch.
So what are you doing?
So I'm gonna get level 2 cream, and then I'm gonna pause. So I'm gonna pause the game. So I have level 2 cream. So I got 2. If you see the orbs.
Because you beat some enemies for it?
Yeah. Oh no, they're actually the level ups were one in a balloon and one in a capsule. So I got
okay.
those
So
right
you
at the
find them
start.
otherwise. Okay.
Yeah. So I get those 2 level ups, and level 2 cream essentially means that she'll constantly do damage to an enemy, or she'll do a lot of damage to an enemy as long as she's like keeps hitting them, like constantly damage, as opposed to a normal thunder shoot, which just kind of stuns the enemy instead.
Okay.
So once I have level 2 cream, I'm gonna thunder shoot Egg Emperor's weak spot, which is his chest area,
which is our final boss.
Yeah. So he's gonna come up, and then I'm gonna thunder shoot him. He has 150 health, and if I do a normal thunder shoot, that's only gonna do 2 damage, 3 damage.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right. So it's usually like a really long boss fight. But what happens is because he's constantly moving backwards, the game treats him as an enemy that's moving, and so Cream keeps moving and attacking like over and over and over again.
Oh,
I say
okay.
yeah, I say Cream. It's Cream thunder shooting the other 2 characters.
Right. Okay. So she's shooting them out.
Yeah,
A
so she
lot
shoots
more
them,
power.
and it looks like they kind of just stick to his weak spot, and they just constantly do damage over and over again. And it's kind of hard to see on the screen, especially on my screen because I'm on a CRT. But if you look at the health bar, you'll notice that it just goes down really, really quickly.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna get a 2 cycle here instead of a 1 cycle, but
You'll just get close
see
enough to him to do it.
Yeah, you'll see
then-
how much damage it does, how quickly.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
then time ends once he's dead.
Okay.
Okay, nice big Amy stuck. Then we'll do it one more time. So he's 62, and now he has 0.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah.
Holy moly! Now it's time.
GG. There's Team
GG.
Rose.
Absolutely.
Lots of stuff that goes on in that specific run.
Yeah, that was really complicated.
Yeah. But it's really cool. It's been shown off at GDQ before, and I'm really glad. Heroes in general is just full with a lot of cool speedrun tech.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm glad I could sit down and explain in more information.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah, it's again like it's even more than potentially you would have on your own stream, things like that. It's just this is the time and place I wanted to create this environment and have this possible for people to just. Oh, look, it's Froggy. For people to explain. more of like what they do and like how it came to be and how it works, especially for those of you who may be interested in learning this or you know, who like to watch it and have just been curious, like, why is this a thing? How does this happen? So gosh, cutscene.
Yeah, the credits of the final song.
That's great.
Okay, cool. Well, those are the 3 things that I wanted to show off. There are other things in the game, but I've been here for like 3.5 hours. It's very late for me.
Right. Exactly. And again, this is our first episode. Wanted to make sure that you have time to show off the things you want to show off and not overwhelm you. And, you know, this is our first try. And I think it went pretty well. Like, I had a wonderful time. Thank you so much for explaining this to me and everybody here who's been watching. Really appreciate that. Appreciate having you on. Thank you so much for being my first guest.
No
Hopefully you
problem.
all
Thank
have
you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Hopefully, chat, you've all had a wonderful time as well. We appreciate you being here and appreciate your support for Hotfix and for this show. We will be back with you all after AGDQ. At the moment, the show is just once a month on a Saturday. So I believe our next episode will be January 19th, just because between now and then is the holidays and AGDQ. So we'll be back with another awesome guest. In the meantime, Talon, is there anything that you would like to plug about your channel? I will.
Okay. So I do stream fairly regularly on my Twitch channel. I do so it's just Talon2461. I've been mostly focusing on Sonic Heroes, not really Sonic Adventure 2, but I do Sonic Adventure 2 every now and then. I'm actually doing, so tomorrow I'm doing a very long stream where I do get all the emblems in Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Adventure 2, and Sonic Heroes. That's going to be
so excited.
24 hours. It's going to be a fun time. Just like having fun. But I do these runs regularly, and I love when people come into chat and ask me questions about these speedruns, because I just, you know, it's my favorite thing to do. So feel free, if you ever want to come in and ask me questions, if you didn't understand something here, then, or if you want to pick up these games, I'm happy to give advice on whatever I can. And the communities are also like very welcoming, the Sonic Adventure 2 and the Sonic Heroes. So, then we have the Discord for that and whatever. But also, Kung Fu has been a wonderful host, so is GDQ in general. So I appreciate you guys having me, and I hope you continue to watch her show. I'm sure she's gonna have wonderful guests.
Thank you. Yeah.
On here too.
The more awesome people lined up.
Yeah. And yeah, but that's basically it for me. I think everything I wanted to say.
Awesome. Yes. Also, he's probably too modest to announce, but he has a really cool big announcement that he is featuring on his channel. And because you got to see Hero Story and Team Rose today, definitely go check out his stream tomorrow, because he has he will be playing those again, but more. So there'll be more content for you to check out, more Sonic. You get to see this and the rest of it. Yeah. Again, like he said, go in, ask him questions. Chat with him. So nice. You can tell based on this if you didn't know him already. And then don't forget, also, we have tomorrow the Classic Mega Man Relay, which is featuring 3 teams who are racing Mega Man 1 through Mega Man 11, and that's starting at 12 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So lots of really fun content to watch tomorrow. You should check it all out. Use a multi-Twitch, have multiple tabs, whatever you need to do. There's like lots of great things to watch. Again, we'll be back with you all in about a month. I have to double check the day. I may be incorrect on the day, but that's because a long time out. My main focus right now is AGDQ 2021 online, that's coming up January 3rd through the 10th once again. And you can go to gamesdonequick.com to check out the schedule. Prize submissions are still open now through December 26th, so feel free to get your prizes in if you'd like to submit something for that. You can also tweet at GamesDoneQuick and tell us what you're most interested in seeing. And again, Talon, it's been so great having you on, and thank you so much for showing us all of this. I feel like I couldn't have asked for a better first guest. I'm really happy about that.
Thank you for having me. That's all I'll say. Thank you for having me.
I know,
It was
so
much fun.
excited. It's been so nice. So yeah, thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Take care, And I'm trying to see if there's anything else I want to include before we head out for the evening. I think that's about it. Yeah, just get really excited for AGDQ 2021 online. Check out Talon2461 on Twitch and pretty much everywhere else. That's right. 2461 everywhere else, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, like Twitter and YouTube and all of that stuff. And then the Mega Man Relay tomorrow. So if you would like to submit any games that you run that you have a lot of experience with, a lot of knowledge about, and runs that feature a lot of glitches or suggestions, feel free to let me know. I will have a submission form for you all to fill out very soon. I actually have it mostly done. I apologize, it's not fully done right now. But definitely by the next episode, we'll have that up for you and you can fill that out, since I believe I already have a guest in mind for episode number 2. So yeah, thank you all again. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your night. And thank you for being here on That's Never Happened Before, episode 1. We'll see you soon. Bye.